now that we're talking about Gale, Sejanus gave me a lot of Gale vibes.
Fuck no.
Yes,
you are not going to do that.
Yes.
That is
you know
blasphemy.
Why? You know why? Because he wanted rebellion. He kept pushing for it. This is wrong. Who did that in all of the Hunger Games? Gale. The way that Snow loves Lucy Gray is the way that Gale loves Katniss. Sir Janus.
Sir Janus.
¿Cómo se llama? Juanes. We took like 3 shots, so I'm a little bit like, I forgot how to say his name.
I don't even know how many shots I've taken.
3.
I really, like...
Maybe 4. What if Lucy Gray is like an ancestor to Katniss?
Hi everyone, welcome back. I'm Ale.
And I'm Carla, and this is Booked and Buzzin'.
From bestseller to hidden gems, we're going to be sharing our thoughts, reviews, and the latest buzz with the book world.
Today we're going to be diving into the highly anticipated for us prequel, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. This book dives into Snow.
Yep. We are going to be finally discussing Snow's book. I think this has been like up and coming because like I've been kind of riling up my Snow conspiracy theories, and now that I finally read this book, I'm like, oh. So we're going to be diving into this, and we're going to sip on our cocktail, which we named Snow Lands on Top. So if you want to sip along, we're going to put the recipe on the bottom.
It's
actually
really
don't
delicious.
Actually don't, because it actually came out pretty disgusting, and we've been taking shots in between.
Committed to the bit at this point. We're gonna drink it.
Like we're gonna sip on it. It does not taste good. We need to go back to the drawing board.
Alcohol that's in here as like a little palate cleanser in between.
Yeah, I don't even know, because like it's very aesthetically pleasing. I think.
I mean, look, we haven't done a cocktail for a few episodes, so we wanted to do something that like really fit with like Snow, that we were in between two, and both of us liked the other one more, but this one sounded like it would be more like aesthetically pleasing.
Esta es una poción.
I know.
Yeah.
But
nonetheless, we'll take shots in between. Yeah. We'll keep it interesting.
Don't worry, we'll get there.
I might try to make it again.
Okay.
I might. Okay.
Okay, so this time around, our set has a few. Alejandra picked everything, basically.
No, we did it together.
I picked like the flowers.
No.
But we have a colorful skirt for Lucy Gray.
With her colorful snakes.
Yes. Genius, by the ways.
And that's what I made my makeup like.
Yeah, it came out really cute. I love it.
My yellow kind of like was not a yellow, it was more gold, but either way,
it still looks good.
It's a thing.
And then we have both editions of
the book.
We have the special edition that came in the Hunger Games 4-book set, and then the original.
Yep.
And then we have a microphone for Miss Lucy Gray.
We have our pin,
and of course a white rose for Snow.
Our white roses. Mm-hmm. Oh man.
Okay.
So here's the thing. Right off the bat, I have to tell you.
Tell me.
I actually loved this book. I can't believe I spent so much time not reading it. It's actually kind of upsetting to me, because I feel like for the longest time I was obsessed with the Hunger Games. Like we've been obsessed with the Hunger Games. And when the prequel came out, like I don't even know how long ago. It's been a while since.
I know, it's been at least, I want to say 4 or 5 years.
Sure. Yeah. 2020.
Okay, so 5 years. No, I figured something like that.
So it came out, yes, it came out in 2020, but still, like, when a new book out of any of the things that I'm obsessed with, I'm going to read it right away. Like, I'm pre-ordering that. I'm going to read it. Like, I'm ready to go. So what I remember thinking was, this sucks. Like, I don't want to read it. Like, I'm invested into Katniss.
It was because of the trilogy that I was just like, I just want more of Katniss and Peeta.
Yep.
And like, it was just so good that I was I don't know how this book can like
compare in any way. Yep. So I literally, I I don't even know. Like, it did not call me literally at all. And since we decided to dive into the Hunger Games because the new book had come out and we're actually very excited for Haymitch. I don't know about you. I haven't had any spoilers actually.
No, I had one like sentence that I saw that kind of did like, it didn't spoil anything, but it gave me okay, this is going to be in the book. And then I don't know if you saw, but okay, we're on TikTok also. We've been posting clips. Somebody commented on one of the Gale clips and they referenced relationships in the Hunger Games and how they compare to relationships in the prequels.
I stopped reading it.
Okay,
I know what
so
comment you're talking about, and I
read
stopped reading it.
It didn't
Okay.
spoil anything for me, but it gave me context to like, which I'm like, okay, at least it didn't spoil anything. But I loved that like I didn't know anything.
I know.
So now I know 2 little things, but that's okay because I'm about to read it. So
Okay, same. Damn, that kind of sucks though.
I know, but that's honestly it kind of made me a little more excited because I was like, wait, what?
Okay, so they were good.
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm not upset.
Okay. I don't have any spoilers with Haymitch's book, but because we knew we were gonna get to Haymitch's book, we're like, we need to read Snow's because it's part of the world. And man, do I wish I would have read this a long time ago so that I could enjoy a reread. Yeah,
That's true. I wish I could have reread this before this.
I loved this book as much as the Hunger Games.
I was gonna ask that.
Yeah, as much as the trilogy. I don't even know why. I can already tell that you don't feel that way.
No, I like it a lot.
Okay, but not like as much.
I'm not even done with it. I have 100 pages left, which is fine because I've seen the movie, so I do know the spoilers. But
you know how it ends.
Yeah, I know how it ends. So I'm not fully done with it, but I do like it a lot. I don't know if I like it as much as the trilogy, but I don't like it less than. It's just different for me. But I really do like it. I miss Suzanne Collins' writing. She's such a brilliant author.
I have so much to say.
I know. I love the parallels that she makes.
Oh my God. So many things build up and you're like, oh my God. So I loved this book. Like there was no point in this book that I'm like, ugh, I'm bored. I loved it. Like I was so shocked by how much I loved it. There's a couple things that I was annoyed by.
I know.
Sejanus. Sir. Okay. So is there anywhere you want to start? Because I have a couple of things I want to say. But actually, this might be fun to start with. Why don't you tell me how you think it ends?
Okay.
Because you still have 100 pages left, and I read it. And you know what the ending is anyways. Right. But I unfortunately feel like the writing of the last 100 pages was fucking epic. And I'm so sad you missed it.
It's okay. We're not going to you're not going to read it to me. So I will still be able to read it. But okay. So here's one thing. From the beginning of the book, Dean Highbottom has been like lo tiene cogido with Snow. He's like out to get him.
Yep.
And like I don't do well with anticipation, so I'm like, okay, what's happening? Why? Like I was like immediately like, what the fuck?
Yep.
And then you like see little trickles of like, oh, him and your dad were friends. Oh, they had a falling out.
Yep.
And I'm still not at the point where I found out why he hates Snow so much. And he mentioned like his mom. He's like, oh, your mom is vain. So I was like, did he have a crush on the mom? And then Snow's dad got the mom. And then like Lucy Gray, I got to the part where Lucy Gray was like, oh, I have some money. And Coriolanus was like, what? Who gave you money? And he was like, oh, Dean Highbottom. He gave it to me. And he was like, sorry for your part in all of this. And I was like, wait a minute. So you thought of the Hunger Games, but you feel bad for her? So this could be completely wrong, but I'm getting the feeling that maybe the Hunger Games, because they had a falling out while they were in school over something. Yeah. I'm getting the feeling that maybe the Hunger Games, I know it was an assignment because Dean Highbottom says like, oh, it was just an assignment to Dr. Gao. Huh.
It's funny that we both said the same thing. Like when I read it, I'm like, Gaul.
I don't know how to say that.
I don't even know what it was point. Why is there a U there?
I don't know.
You're not supposed to
Gaul.
Pronounce it. It's Gaul.
Mm-hmm. Okay? Which that bitch is scary.
Listen to me. I have so many thoughts. But okay, continue. Finish your thoughts.
Bueno, entonces, my theory is that Dean Highbottom stole Snow's dad's idea for the Hunger Games, wrote an essay on it, turned it in, and then like Snow found out and was like, you're a piece of shit, fuck you. And Dr. Gao was like, oh, good idea, we're going to use that from now on. And now he's like, what the fuck? Like, this is awful. I didn't think this would actually happen. And he feels guilty because this was never like even something that he wanted to do. I don't know if that's right or wrong.
Okay.
It's probably wrong.
No, it's pretty close actually. So the way that it's described at the end is that they went out for drinks and that Snow's dad made him like super drunk because he kept like going on and on about like how the Hunger Games would work, because you like it says that like the prompt of the prompt of the assignment is, what is the most like fucked up shit you can make sure to do to them that they wouldn't like survive from, right? Like what is the worst thing you can imagine? And so Snow's dad is getting Dean Highbottom.
Drunk.
These freaking like names are
know.
so funny. I love them.
I know.
Like the names of like some of his classmates are hilarious to me. Like
Hilarious.
hilarious Heavensby.
Which, by the way, I saw Heaven's Being Hall everywhere, and I just kept thinking of Plutarch.
Yep.
So, okay, he gets him super
So
drunk.
he gets him super drunk and he's like, okay, so like, tell me more. Like it was totally his idea, but Snow decided to turn it in for real.
Oh, so it was Dean Highbottom's idea, and Snow wrote it down and turned it in?
Yep.
So then why did Highbottom get the credit for
He
it?
got, because they were, I think they still,
They were like partners?
yep.
Oh.
Yep. They were still supposed to be doing it together. But what I found like crazy was that like how hurt he was that Snow did that. And that he was credited with it because Snow's dad dies. So Dr. Gaul basically takes him and he's like, this is basically, he calls himself, they call him the architect of the Hunger Games. And he's like, this is the most fucked up shit like to be known for. Like I hate, like I cannot believe this is actually happening
that's why
to
he's,
people.
like, drugging himself
And
constantly?
he's, yes, and then that's what he says. He was like, when I was presented as the architect of this fucked up shit, like I just did not, like I started coping with morphling. So
Interesting.
yeah. What I don't understand about that specific scenario is it wasn't clear to me when Snow's dad died in the middle of this. Because I think this is only the
was during
10th
war.
Hunger Game.
It was during the war.
So then, okay, so they must have been like really young,
Yeah. Well,
like as parents.
well, so I don't know how long the war lasted. But
Fair.
assuming it lasted a few years,
Yeah.
and they were in their last year of school, right? And it was like one of their last assignments. They would both go on to graduate, and he would go on to be in the war and die in it.
Right.
And then the war ends, and Highbottom is the only one left alive in between the two of them, so he gets all the credit for it, basically.
Yeah, which he hates.
Makes sense, but can I just say, like, you're torturing a child for something that his father did, which, by the way, is, okay, valid because it tracks. Snow becomes a piece of shit. But
Does he though?
President Snow? Wait a minute, do we like President Snow now?
I fucking love him.
Okay, so here's something I want to say. Before I read this book, I
think everybody's gonna hate me
Why?
because I think everybody's looking at our clips like, is this bitch really like defending Gale? And now I'm here
by the way,
defending.
I won the argument.
She really
You
did.
fucking lost.
You really, really did. Like everybody loves your take, which is fine because I love you
But
too.
it's okay because wait until like my Violet shit drops on TikTok. Everyone's gonna hate me.
This is true. But I think that I have a really hard time hating Snow.
I think a lot of people after this book, and especially after the movie, because I saw people talking about the movie, were like, wait, I kind of like Snow now. So I don't think you're alone in that.
Okay.
I feel the same before as I do now. I don't hate him. I don't love him. He's a character. He's a good character. He's a very well developed character. He has a lot of layers to him. Like I didn't hate Snow in the trilogy. I don't hate him now. I feel the same level. I feel like I understand him better. But what I will say is before I read this book, I was like, okay, so is this going to be a book of like how he becomes a villain? And like on the first page, I was like, nope, you've always been this way. Like reading, not to the extent, obviously it grows, but he has always been the way he is. Yeah. Where he looks down on people, where he feels superior, where he is very controlled, where he's pretty selfish, even with his grandmother. Like he like not that he looks down on her, but I remember that there was like moments where he'd be like, she's embarrassing, or like, oh, I don't want too many people to see her out in town. Or when she was teaching him how to like sing the anthem, like he was like pissed with her, like annoyed with her, like he was like, this stupid old lady. Or she gives him the flower and it cuts him and he's like, are you fucking kidding me? He doesn't say anything to her, but he's like, and Tiger's like, she takes his hand and washes it and she's like, go say thank you, she was trying to be nice to you. And he's like, thanks. So like,
so for me, I feel like that sounds like a kid that was the part of the bougie and is not anymore, and he's landed on Earth and his grandma hasn't, so he's frustrated by her.
no, to me it gives Snow has always been Snow, where he,
Well, because he's a Snow, like because he's bougie, he's
so is
always had
Tigress.
this thought. No, but it makes it seem like Tigress was an extension of the most powerful part of the Snow.
no, she's one of the Snows. Like,
Yes.
it's a dynasty. It's not just him.
Yes, but it sounds like Snow's parents were the direct dynasty. It's almost like, this is going to be a horrible example, but it's almost like Kim Kardashian, like the mid, like the most important part of the family. And then you have like, I don't know, Courtney, which is like, she is important, but she's not the Kardashian you think about.
Yeah, but I would still argue that they would have the same mentality.
Perhaps. I don't know.
just
I
feel
feel like I don't know how. I mean, my entire part is that Tigress was extremely, what a sweetheart in the entire book.
Yeah, but like, okay,
Which is, different.
He loves her, right?
Yeah.
She's the only one that he, other than Lucy Gray, shows like genuine care and affection for. And then when he thinks of like, what if she has resorted to like certain jobs that are degrading and they could disgrace her family, instead of being like, I can't imagine my cousin that has raised me and sacrificed so much for me going through that, he's like, I'm not even going to think about that's a disgrace. So Snow has always been Snow is what I'm getting at. Like, he developed, but
So yes, I would agree with you. I do think Snow has always had, what is that word? Where like, snobby. I think he's always been snobby.
Yeah, but also like power hungry.
Yeah, for sure. I love it.
Always been power hungry. Even when lo raspan y lo mandan pa'l carajo.
He's like, I know who I am.
Maybe I can be an officer. Like, you know, like Sejanus shows
He's always looking for the way to,
and then he's like,
for
and
the
then if
come
I
up.
could become an officer during the war, I could go back to the capital. Like, he's
always
consistent is what I'll say. He is a consistent person.
Yep.
I think obviously he develops into, you know, who he becomes, President Snow, with the poison and the this and the that. But I think that his personality is very on brand with who he is when we see him in the Hunger Games.
Agreed. I agree.
If anything, he's become more like maniacal in the Hunger Games, where he's like, to Katniss. You know, like he's like.
It's funny though, because I feel like she did such a great job at showing us the come up. Like now reading this book, I actually have not watched the movie, but I'm very excited to do so now. I'm actually shocked that I've never in the last 5 years spoiled anything for myself.
I know.
Like I literally went into this book blind, and I have not watched the movie. I have not seen clips of the movie. Like I don't know anything. I didn't know anything going in, and it was the best experience to have read this book, like not knowing anything. But for me, I feel like one of my favorite parts about reading it is being able to see him and recognize him as an adult in the Hunger Games. Like recognize like the same personality, like you're saying. Like I read this and the entire time I was thinking like the personality that like connected with Katniss, like what he said, what he did.
Okay.
Like I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very interesting to see his background, to see, you know, like how did he become who he was, and to see that he was always like his core qualities were always the same. But I found it very like, obviously it's intentional because Suzanne Collins wrote the Hunger Games and she wrote this book. Obviously she connected the dots for you, but it's funny how like he hates mockingjays. Katniss is the mockingjay.
Oh my God. Okay, because
the love of his life is from District 12. Katniss is from District 12.
No, it couldn't
She
have
lives
been
in the
any
seam.
more
Katniss lives in the
perfect.
seam.
It literally could not have been any more perfect.
He had to be disgraced in District 12.
Literally saw his downfall.
Yeah.
In Katniss. That's why he hated her so much right off the freaking bat.
Yeah. It's funny. Like, the district that was, you know,
started him off.
Essentially, District 12 was his demise in this book because that's where Lucy Gray was from.
Yep.
And because he caught such an affection for her, he broke rules left and right.
Yep.
Which is what got him in trouble, right? Because if he had just been like, fuck it to the tank, fuck it to the food, fuck it to the rat poison. Although Dean Highbottom wanted to expel him, he couldn't have.
He wouldn't have. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. He wouldn't have something to stand on. But I just found it so hilarious that District 12 was what started his journey into becoming President Snow and what ended with him not being alive anymore. Because when he leaves District 12 and he goes back to the lab, he's like, I get it now. I get why we do the Hunger Games. I'm just, okay. I wish I could read you the last 50 pages because I'm like, when I read it, I was like literally doing my nails today.
It happens
And the nail lady was trying to talk to me as I'm doing my nails, right? And she's trying to talk to me and I'm just reading, yeah. I'm like doing my nails and I'm like, and I'm like reading this book because I was like, okay. What I was obsessed with was the interactions, and I would love to read a quote.
Yeah,
There was a specific part where, by the way, guys, I do have my phone, but it's because I have a Kindle. So he gets basically picked up he was supposed to go from District 12 to District 2 because he was getting promoted or whatever into officers and whatever. And then he gets dropped off at the Capitol. He's like, oh, God, they're going to kill me for real. Like they found out. And he gets taken to Dr. Gaul's lab, right? And they start talking, whatever. And she goes, I got your letter and your Jabberjay. Too bad about young Plinth. Although, is it really? Anyway, I was pleased to see you were continuing your studies in 12, developing your worldview. Worldview. Really? That's your worldview? Like to kill people? Great. Okay, let's continue. He goes, he felt himself pulled right back into the old tutorial with her as if nothing had happened. Yes, it was eye-opening. I thought about all the things we discussed. Chaos, control, the contract, the 3 C's. Whatever. They keep talking, blah, blah, blah. And this is the part that I really enjoyed. Like the whole conversation between both of them is like, why do we need the Hunger Games, right? So then we go back around and they say, creatures who need the capital to survive. It's all pointless though. However, they're not just to punish the districts, they're part of the eternal war. Each one in its own battle, one we can hold in the palm of our hand instead of waging a real war that could get out of our control. So it's like, we are totally aware that districts are going to hate us for doing this, but this is better than the alternative where we are losers in this war. No matter the catastrophes.
But that's so stupid because you're attacking the most precious thing to people, which is their children. At some point, even though it took 75 years, something is going to happen, and it took that long for people to get fed up and tired.
Yes,
but it happened.
I have to think about that one. Hold on.
It's not you who said it; it's her. I'm just saying.
No, it's true. Yes.
Like Dr. Gaul was so like, I know everything. I'm so smart. Like we have to do this because of this and because of that. And it's like, that eventually the capital gets destroyed because of the rebellion.
Yep.
But like, I don't know how like you can be so confident that will be the way to pacify them by taking the most precious thing that people have, which is their kids.
Well, so there's a part where he's talking to Highbottom and he says, or he tells them about the whole conversation around like his dad and him and whatever. And then he goes, I never forgave him. And Snow goes, he's dead. And Dean Highbottom goes, but she isn't. It was never meant to be anything more than theoretical. And who but the vilest monster would stage it? After the war, she pulled my proposal out and me with it and introducing me to Panem as the architect of the Hunger Games. Blah, 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 blah. And then Snow goes, it certainly supports her view of humanity, especially using the children. Dean Highbottom goes, and why is that? And then Snow goes, because we credit them with innocence. And if even the most innocent among us turn to killers in the Hunger Games, what does that say? That our essential nature is violent. Mm-hmm. And then Dean Highbottom goes, self-destructive. I thought it was amazing. I was like, okay,
it is. It's brilliant.
Oh my God, it was like literally amazing.
I just feel like, obviously, this is me looking at it after seeing the end result.
Yeah.
But I just feel like, okay, I understand doing the Hunger Games for a certain amount of time, but you have to know that continuing to do this eventually is gonna explode.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you do bring up a good point, because I can see the initial need, but I think you should have capped it at like 10.
Yeah, like 10
know?
years, now we're done. Or like every, I don't know, 15 years, or like, look, never. How about never? But if you're going to go this route where you're like, we need to remind the districts,
Yeah.
every year is
It's kind of
excessive.
crazy.
It's excessive. You're not even giving a full generation a chance.
No.
I mean, whatever. But that's the Hunger
Yeah,
Games.
that's the Hunger
what
Games.
makes it so brilliant and
yeah. So I think that overall, I found it really interesting how his, like the true beginning of President Snow started in District 12 and ended with District 12.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even connect the dots there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
The true essence of it. Okay, so here's what I want to say. I want to dive into a little bit of his analysis as a character.
Okay.
Do you want to dive into
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
Okay, so a little bit of the analysis around Snow. So one of the things that I want to mention right off the bat is how highly he thinks of himself. I love that.
Why?
That's why I'm saying I think people are going to see these like clips or this podcast and be like, why is she so like power hungry? I'm just kidding. God knows why he hasn't given me power. But anyways.
Well, I know why I haven't been given power.
100%.
I'm destructive.
Correct. But I love a main character that knows or believes that he's the shit. Like, I just love that dynamic of seeing someone's thought process. Like, I know I'm like full of quotes for this book, which is crazy because, like, I don't know, I really love this book. But I'm going to share just one and then I'll stop and like talk about it.
Share all the quotes you want.
But there's this one quote. Okay. Okay, so this is a quote when he is basically trying to run away with Lucy Gray. And they're already like in the forest or whatever. And he goes, heavy dark clouds rolled in, providing some relief from the beating sun, but adding to his oppression. This was his life now, digging for worms and being at the mercy of the weather, elemental, like an animal. He knew this would be easier if he wasn't such an exceptional person. The best and the brightest humanity had to offer, the youngest to pass the officer candidate test. If he'd been useless and stupid, the loss of civilization would not have hollowed out his insights in this manner. He'd have taken it in stride. Thick, cold raindrops began to plop down on him, leaving whip marks on his fatigues. I love that part because I feel like he's really looking around being like, I don't fucking deserve this shit.
He's like that the whole book.
I know. I love it. I
Like,
love
he has this like really weird hate-like relationship with Sejanus Plinth.
I can't even dive into that one just yet.
Well, but I mean, like, he in the beginning of the book is like this disgusting district idiot. Like, it does not belong here. Like, ew, go home.
I love the parallels of what we even see in our society now, though.
How?
Old money versus new money.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Exactly.
that is like, no matter how much money like we can make, right, in our lifetime, we're never gonna be, I don't know, a Kennedy.
Right.
You get me? You're never gonna be a Rockefeller. Like, and they're always gonna look down on us for many, 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 many generations.
Definitely.
You know, no matter if you act the way they do, you'll never be them.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we can set up and be like getting the same designers and doing our hair the same and doing our makeup the same and doing all the things that they're doing. We're not trying to be flashy, right? We're not trying to be new money. And they'll still be like, and that's exactly what it is. The Plinth family were so rich, so like crazy money. And everybody was like,
Yeah.
like,
I mean, the book starts off and they say that Sejanus has no friends, literally.
right.
Which,
People
like,
that would tolerate him better.
no, he
But-
was like by himself. Like, and his
Yeah.
mom says it. His mom was like, You're his only friend." Like,
Yeah.
so, and which makes you wonder, like, why did Coriolanus have so much, like, tolerance for him?
Okay. So it's so funny because at his core, I think that he is very like
Yeah, snooty.
snooty, and I hate this guy, but I must show class. And I think that he did that too much, that he showed tolerance towards him. And I think he was at the wrong place at the wrong time during the entire book.
Where Sejanus, all of the mentors are in the room with Dr. Gaul, and I don't know what she's asking them or like trying to make them do. And Sejanus is like, "No." And she's like, "There is no no, you're doing it." And he's like, "No, I won't do it." And he like storms off and tries to open the door and it's locked.
Yeah.
And Coriolanus is like, "Oh shit, it's about to go down." And Dr. Gaul or Dean Highbottom, whoever, is like, the door locks from the inside and the peacekeepers aren't going to open it.
But Dean Highbottom warned Corio, because I cannot say that word, about that.
About what?
About that shit was going to hit the fan right now and that he should keep a close eye on Sejanus.
But that doesn't matter. That's not his responsibility. And
No,
then
it's
in
not.
that moment, Coriolanus says it himself. He's like, I find myself saying there's a seat next to me. And he like says like, I don't know why I did that. And then that's what saves Sejanus. And he goes and he sits down next to him. So he feels, I think he has an internal conflict with Sejanus where it's like 80% fuck you. And then 20% like,
Just get in line. Yeah.
20% like, because when, I understand why, but when Sejanus shows up in District 12, he's elated. Why? Because it's somebody he knows from the capital. Like, it's not because it's Sejanus.
No.
But he's
It could have been anybody.
okay. And then he's like, Ma's cooking and stuff like that. So, like, there's a part of him that does tolerate Sejanus. And not because he's expected to, not because he's told to, because something in him naturally does it. And I wonder why.
So it's, you bring up a good point. I honestly think it's his craving of a real family. Yeah, I think that he's okay. So maybe I'm going a little bit too outfield, but what makes me think that he's tolerant of it is the fact that he has fond memories of his mom, but he doesn't really remember his mom.
Yeah, but he doesn't have any affection for Sejanus' mom at all.
No.
Like, he's actually like, this fucking stupid bitch looks dumb
pathetic.
as fuck in that dress.
It's pathetic.
It's like, you can like take a peasant out of the mud, but it's still a peasant.
Correct. Which is hilarious, right? Right back to society.
Disgusting,
but I genuinely think that, yes, he thinks this way about Ma, but what I'm saying is I think an internal struggle is to see a mom and a son be connected in a way that he doesn't see often represented. And I'm sure he wishes he had.
But he never expresses like, oh,
No, I'm totally reading between the lines.
I don't think so. I just think that there's something in... So here's the thing about Coriolanus is that...
He's a few steps ahead.
But he's not bad. Like, he is, but he's not. Like,
I don't think he is.
him inside, internally, I'm sure in the Hunger Games, it's different. But in this book, like, he's like, Clemmy is, like, fucking annoying. Or, like, he'll talk about his classmates and he'll be like, you're annoying and you're a know-it-all. And then something happens to them and he's like, oh no. Shit.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
No, actually, I think you bring up a really good point.
Only one that he was like, you deserved it was Arcane.
Yes.
And then at the funeral, he's like, I can't believe this fucking stupid bitch is having such, like, this huge funeral in honor of her life when she deserved what she got. And then he's like, and now she's going to be the fucking symbol of the Hunger Games. Like, fuck her. Yeah. And it's funny, too, because that moment does show you, like, you're fucked up. Because most people will kind of, like, forget that and just be like, but she was a person and now she's dead and it's fucked up.
Yep.
And he's very capable of being like,
and fuck you.
You're still a bitch.
Yep.
But with all his other friends, like the girl who got bit by the snake, Clemmy, I think.
Clementine.
He's like scared of her, and then he feels bad for her, and then he's like, fuck her. And that one thing I did notice about Snow is that he's kind of like all over the place with his feelings.
I know, I love that.
Like
I love how conflicted he is.
Yeah. But it's not really a conflict because he's like, this is my goal. I feel these things, but I need to get here. So like,
so oh my God, it just represents, the reason why I love this book is because it represents how snobby he is, while how much he wants to be the main power. Like he's power hungry. That is his first line of goal.
Yeah.
Right? He wants to just have power, be influential, be society, right? But within the growing of this book, he has moments like what you said, where he's like, and I love Lucy Gray. And I know this isn't like fair, but you know, I still think that we need to do this. Like his complete hatred of the Mockingjays because they are mutants compared to the Jabberjays.
At first, he doesn't even know what it is, and he's like, "This noise is bothering me." And then they put a name to it, and they're like, "Oh, those are Mockingjays." And he's like, "What the hell is that?" And he's like, "Ew, ugly bird. It's black and it has white wings." Like, bleh. And then he's like,
"There's a point where he's like, shut up, stupid Mockingjay. You'll never be a Jabberjay."
So I did enjoy seeing all the conflict in him, but like I said, he's a consistent person. Like,
like even there was a point where he meets the Covey and he goes to like their house and stuff, and he's like standing there and he's like, first he has thoughts of like, how the fuck did I get here? But then he's like, genuinely like, I don't want bad for these people. I'm not one of them. You know, like he is very consistent in that. Like, I don't think that he's looking, you can even tell that he doesn't have any type of, what's that word? Like he doesn't have any joy in creating harm like Dr. Gaul. He doesn't have any excitement towards,
I agree
like,
with that.
Like there's no like bloodlust in any way.
Breath, he doesn't lose any sleep over it either.
No, well, yeah, that's what I was getting to. Like, I don't think that he's looking for it. I don't think that he wants to create harm. But the same time, I don't think that he necessarily think to stop it. He's very like, yeah, you're from the districts, like you're scum.
And it's crazy too, because it's like he's like, oh, they're from the district's trash, but then he's like in love with Lucy Gray, and whether she's Covey or not, like she's not from the capital.
Well, okay, but do you notice how much he had to try to compartmentalize that in his head? Where he was like, but she's not really district.
I know, but even
to love her.
But here's like the thing too, like even if she's not district, she's not capital. And anything other than capital is like dirty, disgusting to them. Because he says, when he meets the Coveys, he's like, he's with Sejanus, and Sejanus is like, oh no, I'm actually from District 2. And they're like, the little one is like, oh, did we ever go there? And they were like, no, we were always like in the Northeast.
And he was like, these poor people.
And then he's like, ew, what were they like living in a cave? Like disgusting. Like it's like
what do they know?
And then he's
Ew.
like caveman. Like he never, like he has a very
He
clear
was like,
understanding.
these poor animals.
Yeah, literally though.
Literally though. Yeah, I know.
And so he has a very clear understanding that these people are not like him, that he is above them.
He is above them. But he's not mean to them.
No, but he's really mean in his head.
I know. I love him. I like love the character. I love that he's so like, I don't know. I just like reading the book was so exciting to me because I'm like, wow, you're like horrible, but like I love you.
No, he was very interesting to read. His character was very different, that's for sure.
Yeah. I guess that's what I loved about it because I feel like I have like in my opinion, I think a lot of characters that I read nowadays are very like, oh no, like I need to save everybody.
Violet Soaring Gale.
I wonder if we've ever done a podcast where we haven't brought up Violet.
She's on my shit list right at the top.
I know.
Right at the tippity top.
But like so many of them though, like so many of like even our favorites are always trying to save everybody. And he's like, how am I going to save myself?
Well, Katniss isn't like that. Katniss is like, especially in the first book, she's like, I'm trying to save me.
Yes, but actually like that parallel. I must think about it later. But okay, so yes, true. But what I liked about Snow's reaction to I need to save myself is because he's exceptional.
Yeah.
You know, like I love that. I love that he's like me. I was bred for high society.
I think it tracks with all his classmates because like he talks about like hilarious being like obnoxious and annoying, and he talks about how like Pup, his dad is like this super big like military guy, and so he's like expected to do great things, and how Clemmy is this, and like everybody, like he's like they're all fucking annoying, they're all stupid, they're all
the
like
creme of the creme,
right? And you see how they speak, and he says like, for example, Arcane, he's like, she's like super loud, she thinks she's the fucking best. Like they all think like that. 100%. The only difference between him and them is that he can shut his mouth. Like he's good at playing the part.
That he knows how, and this.
But he's not that much more different than them.
No, he's not. But the thing is that he has everybody fooled that he's like a kind-hearted person.
Except for Dr. Gaul and Dean Haimana.
Actually, I think Dr. Gaul doesn't even notice any of that shit.
No.
She's just like,
she saw
I can play with him.
No, I think she was like, oh, there's something here.
That's true. But
she says it. Like, she's like, he's different.
He's different in the sense that he wants to land on top. But he's not different in the fact that he doesn't enjoy the torture she enjoys.
But it doesn't have to go that far. She could just tell he's different from his classmates in that I think what she sees in him is the potential to continue the games. Because at some point, this bitch is going to die. And then the games land in someone's hands.
Well, that's true. Like, and you know, it's interesting because I have another quote about this. Okay, so really quick. So he goes, he'd continue the games, of course, when he ruled Panem. People would call him a tyrant, iron-fisted and cruel, but at least he would ensure survival for survival's sake, giving them a chance to evolve. What else could humanity hope for? Really, it should thank him.
That tracks.
And I'm like, oh my God, I really do. I loved his character. I really did. The other thing I highlighted, even in that one, was that, okay, so you did not read the Lucy Gray situation. Do you want to try to guess how that goes? I mean, it's open-ended
I saw the movie.
in the movie or the book.
Essentially, in the movie, he doesn't tell her about one of the people he kills. I don't remember who. So she knows that he killed the guy in the arena and somebody else. And then when they're walking in the forest, basically running away together, he lets slip that there's like a third person. And she's like, you didn't tell me that. And he's like, oh shit. And so they like end up in this shack, which I wonder if it's the shack that Katniss goes to with Gale in the woods.
I think so.
And then she's like, I'm going to go look for something. I'll be right back. And the bitch hightails it. And then he realizes, like, wait a minute. The only person that knows that I've killed 3 people is her. And then he starts getting paranoid that she's like going to run away and like tell somebody, I think. And then he just goes into the woods looking for her, shooting up like the forest. And that's it. You never find her. You never find out if she lived or died. And that's it.
Yep. So what I found interesting was that
essentially that's how it happens in the book.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, essentially, like, he never finds her. And he ends up, like, making his way back to District 12 and, like, leaving and stuff, right? And he's kind of like, she's either dead or, like, no one's going to believe her anyways because I have the murder weapons. So he, like, drowns the murder weapons in the middle of the lake. So, like, not only do they not have prints, but, like, you're not going to find them at the bottom of the lake.
Right.
Unless you're, like, looking for them, right? But, what I found interesting about this was that I think his entire time he has hesitation into falling in love with Lucy Gray, but I don't think he loved Lucy Gray. I think he was infatuated by her and her ability to make him famous. Oh. Ooh. Did I trigger you?
Someone commented
Okay.
that the way that Snow loves Lucy Gray is the way that Gale loves Katniss. Hear me out. It kind of tracks because Snow is possessive over her. He's like, she's my girl. That's mine. My Lucy. My this. He gets jealous when Lucy sings a song about the guy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's the perfect comparison, but what you said, that you think that he is in love with the idea of her, is how I feel that Gale was in love with Katniss, which was the idea of her. He liked the image of Katniss, what she represented to him. I'm just giving you my perspective.
I love you.
I think that I do agree with that. I do agree with, he's really like, she is mine and that's my girl. And but then at the same time, it's kind of funny because it's like, how old is he? Like 18? He's just graduated high school. And he's like nervous. And he's like, what if she doesn't like me back? And like, you know, like she's like this little poor dirty girl that he's like, I'm better than her. And he's like, but what if she doesn't like me back? Yeah. And he's like, she's my girl, but what if she doesn't think of herself as my girl? And like, and then they have that reunion. No comments on that?
Okay.
You don't see any parallels there?
I really don't, actually.
Okay.
I really don't, because I genuinely feel
The general public thinks that I'm right and that you're wrong.
I know, but my people haven't found me yet. I can't wait for that comment to saturate. Like, actually. I'm just kidding.
You know that like the Prim videos have been like 50-50.
Hating me, though.
No, like some people agree, some people don't.
No, a lot of people don't agree.
Somebody commented and they were like, I never thought about it like that, but like, thank you, basically, for like talking about Prim.
But that was like mid-nice. Like, just, I got you thinking. The other comments are like, this is a horrible take.
No.
Yes.
Somebody was like...
No, either way, I love it. I love it.
I think that we were right about Prim, and I think that if you're just blindly saying, oh, you're wrong, then you haven't really like listened to it. Because there was like a few comments.
And that's good, because here's the thing. If you want to tell me that I'm like really wrong, it'd be great if you do it on the YouTube video when you watch the whole thing, because the shorts are just giving you a little umph of the main conversation. But here's the thing, going back to a second to what you said. The reason why I don't think that the situation with Lucy Gray and Snow is the same as Gale and Katniss is because there's a huge difference in breeding of Lucy Gray and Snow.
I don't think that has anything to do with...
I think so, because I think that he has been made to think that he has possessions and he is better. Whereas I don't think Gale ever saw Katniss as something that he owned.
You don't know because you didn't see his perspective. But even when he tells her like, oh, I got jealous when that peacekeeper was joking about kissing you.
It gives me jealous boyfriend. It doesn't give me
gives
infatuation.
me your mind, like, what the fuck is this guy? And then she comes back from the Hunger Games hella traumatized, and the first thing that he's like, he kisses her because he's like basically marking his territory. Like, not like that, but like I know that there was emotions behind that. I'm just saying.
But the reason why I will never get on that bandwagon is because when he has the chance to be with her and she's just looking for a distraction, he doesn't engage. That's why I will always defend Gale, because I think that he's a flawed character, but I don't think that he's a bad friend, and I don't think he's a bad character, because if he really were just out here trying to get her in whatever way that he like could,
But I don't
he would have
think
just
that
engaged
Coriolanus would have wanted Lucy Gray in whatever way he could. I think he wanted to be with her the same way that this guy wanted. And you also have a difference of like years. He knows her intimately, whereas he barely knows Lucy.
That's why I don't think that he really wanted her. I think he was infatuated.
Yeah, but in all his life in the capital, he was never infatuated. No, yes, he was. I think Gale was not infatuated. Gale was in love with the idea of Katniss, just like you said that Snow was in love with the idea of Lucy. Because if Gale loved Katniss truly, he would have loved her in every way that she came, including not wanting to incite war.
That's bullshit.
No, it's the truth.
No.
He only calms down in Mockingjay after he gets what he wants. Because in Catching Fire, you're not going to tell me he was not insoportable. You know he was.
Not, I mean, yeah.
Alejandra.
A little bit.
A little bit. Mijita. Extremely.
I don't think so.
Extremely.
I don't think so. I think he was trying.
Even in the first book, he's like, which by the way, now that we're talking about Gale, Sejanus gave me a lot of Gale vibes.
Fuck no.
Yes.
You are not going to do that.
Yes.
That is
blasphemy. You know why? Because he wanted rebellion. He kept pushing for it. This is wrong. This is wrong. Who did that in all of the Hunger Games? Gale. Who was annoying Katniss? Listen to this parallel.
No, ma'am.
In the first Hunger Game, Gale's like, this is fucked up. What if nobody watches? And Katniss is like, everybody's going to watch. And he's like, but what if they don't? And she's like, oh my God, I'm not even going to engage because this guy, he's always talking about this shit. Like, ya cállate. And in this book, who's the one who's like, just shut up already? Coriolanus. And who's the one who's like, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong? Sejanus. You don't need to like it.
I'm not going to agree, though.
You don't need to like it. But it is true.
No fucking way.
In this book, he reflects a lot of Gale's views and his way of being, because Gale doesn't shut the fuck up about it no matter where he is. And Sejanus doesn't shut the fuck about it in the capital, in front of the teachers, in front of the fucking bitch who's like the leader of the Hunger Games.
He's such a sensitive piece of shit. That's my bothersome. This is why you will never.
He
this
is sanctimonious.
Blasphemy, because at least Gale is like.
The only difference between Gale and Sejanus is that Sejanus is emotional and Gale is not. That's the only difference.
That's the biggest difference there could be.
But as far as like what they do and what they see and what they argue and how they feel, it is the same.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I'm right. You're wrong.
I think that you're very wrong because you're never going to compare Gale with Sejanus. Like, no. Because here's the thing. How do you even pronounce this guy's name? Sejanus? Is that what it is?
That's how the movie did it.
So Sejanus is at its core.
In my head,
like at the very beginning.
I was calling him Juanes.
Ah, mira.
Because
¿De dónde te salió ese?
Like the singer.
Okay.
I just skipped the SC and I was like, yeah, your name is Juanes.
Juana here, okay. I love that. He's annoying.
He is. Okay, so this is what I'll give you. He's super annoying.
I don't think Gale's annoying at all. I think Gale is passionate.
Just you think that?
No, Gale's not annoying. He's passionate, and he's strong, and he's territorial.
Oh, well, you know what else? Sejanus is passionate.
No, but like in a little bitch way. Gale is
still passionate.
In a very strong way.
In a very crybaby way.
He's giving protective.
He's giving a crybaby.
He's giving forceful.
He's giving annoying.
He's giving powerful.
He's giving wrong place, wrong time.
He's giving, I'm going to land on top.
He's giving shitty friend.
He lands on top
of a bomb. For Prim.
That was cold. That was
the
me.
Truth. It's the truth, bitch.
No, I don't think I know. Listen, you're not gonna do this with me because
I
I'm
genuinely
I have
do
no
see that.
no. I
While I
don't
was reading
see.
it, I was like, wait
No
a
way.
minute, this is gonna piss off Alejandra, but this is exactly what Gale was doing.
No.
Yeah.
0.
He was very
0%.
loud. He was very loud with his anger over the Hunger Games, over their situation in general, over how the Capitol treated the districts. He was very loud about it.
Fair, but he wasn't
Hunger
a
Game
little,
book.
little. No, because Sejanus was annoying.
He was, but
He was
Sejanus was the
poor
son of a
me
rich.
with all my money, and I just want to do the right thing.
I find it
and then
hilarious.
I land to District 12.
I find it hilarious.
No way,
that
no
you
way,
get
because he
behind
lands.
Gale
He
being a fucking crybaby, all of Catching Fire and in the Hunger Games, and being like, it's because he was passionate and. But in this
I think
book,
because he does it in a manly way.
But because it's Sejanus and he gives like gordito estúpido, you're like, you're annoying. Shut the fuck up. Am I wrong? Did you not picture him as a little like?
I did not think he was like nerdy. No,
I did. I
really?
pictured him as like a little like.
I mean, maybe. But here's the thing. No. Because here's what I will get annoyed at with Sejanus no matter what. It's the fact that you're sitting there in the elite of the elite and you're not trying to fit in.
But he doesn't. Look.
You're not trying to fit in. You're doing, poor me. I want to go back to District 2 and I want to be a poor little boy and I just want to be back with my friends. Instead of being like, I think that is exactly what Snow's frustration with him is like, get in the game. How many people wish they were here? Instead of starving in your district, get your fucking shit together and like try to be one of us.
Okay, but.
And then, no, wait,
parents,
I need to say this really quick. And then he lands on District 12 and everybody's like, bueno, por fin se va a calmar, you know?
Nope.
Se va a calmar un poquito. I just can't deal with it because my heart knows that I have to do the right thing. Yo lo hubiera matado.
Listen.
If I were Snow, I'd be like, there's no saving this guy. So, like, fuck him.
Look, I agree that he was annoying. But he resembled the same. No. He did. Let me finish. Listen, let me finish.
I'll listen.
He resembled the same passions and forcefulness. And like, Katniss would be like, shut the fuck up. You're going to get in trouble. And he'd be like, no, fuck this. That's what Gale would do. Same shit with Sejanus. Now, here's what I'll say. When I was reading the book, I was like, dude, you're annoying. Like, shut the fuck up already. And then I kept going back and forth. You're annoying. Okay, I get it. You're annoying. I get it. Marcus. I understood that because Marcus was in his class in District 2. Mm-hmm. And the way that they beat the shit out of him and strung him up and left him alive. I understand seeing that and being like, I can't deal with this. Like, I cannot handle this. And I'll take it a step further. Look, I'm not saying I agree with Sejanus, but I get it because my parents are immigrants. I'm a first-generation American. And we went to my parents' like country, like where I'm from, my whole life, every year. And it is not a good place. And no, they don't.
Sorry.
I would go and I would be like, damn, like this would have been my life. Like this could be me. Like if my parents 100%. Hadn't escaped this, like this would be my life.
I feel the same way.
I understand seeing like situations and being like, oh my God, like that would have been me. And that's what he's seeing in this Hunger Games shit where he's like, that could have been me. And then it goes a step further when Marcus, his classmate, gets raped. I do think he's annoying. I think like I'm like it's like
okay.
At a certain point, I'm like, okay, so then do something, bitch. Fucking do something. But what I will also say is that he's a rich boy. Even in District 2, he was a rich boy. His dad had like a whole bunch of money over there.
He was in District 2.
He was a rich boy.
Yeah. What I'm saying is like he was always a rich boy and just in different scenarios.
What I'm getting at with that is that like he never could have been like manly like Gale because Gale had all of these adversities where he like lost his father, had to become a man of the house very quickly. He grew up. He was stronger, quicker. He was a man as like a child essentially. Whereas Sejanus was pampered, and he's the only child, and his daddy was always rich, even in District 2. And then he goes to the capital, and like, I can understand that he didn't know how to be a man in that situation because he wasn't one. He wasn't forced to be one ever. He just felt it was wrong. He was very emotional about it. Too emotional, in my opinion. Because at a certain point, it's like, you keep doing this. Do something. Right?
Yeah.
And then, like, okay, the thing with Marcus happened, and I did feel for him. I was like, that fucking sucks. Like, I can't imagine seeing... like anybody that I went to school with that I'm representing in a battlefield, and they strung them up and beat the shit out of them. And I'm just like, oh my fucking God. Like, even if we weren't friends, like, that's horrendous. Like, I can understand him seeing that and being beside himself. I think there were moments that were stupid, like when he challenged Dr. Gaul, where it's like, shut the fuck up. Or when he threw a chair at the TV. Like, it's like, dude, either
you're just throwing a tantrum. Yeah, you're just doing a tantrum.
Bite or shut up. Because throwing a chair is not shit.
But that's what I think was the most annoying, is that I think that's why I will never stand on him being like Gale. Because he was doing a tantrum. He was doing a tantrum.
He was a little rich boy.
I don't give a fuck. Like, be about it if you're going to talk about it.
He isn't about it.
Okay, so then don't compare him to Gale, who's about it.
Well, they're both about it in different ways.
No,
yeah,
Gale
because he tries to incite rebellion in District 12.
But Gale is about it.
And mira pa eso. Who was the first one to, like, try and start a little rebellion? Sejanus in District 12.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did.
You know that they were going to kill him. They were not going to take him seriously.
But
all this stupid peacekeeper that's going to come help us. Él es un bobo. Él no sabe nada. No, he didn't.
He knew what was right. He knew what was wrong. He had his moral compass, and he went for it. I knew this was going to piss you off.
His moral compass.
Because you were like, Sejanus is pissing me off, and I was like, girl, I got something that's going to piss you off even more.
She has not said shit while she reads this book, and she usually tells me, like, little comments as she's reading, and I'm like, I know she's rubbing up for something.
It was this.
Okay, well, listen, let me tell you, you're wrong.
Also the Gale and Snow comparison. That tracks.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I hate him more now. So...
Because I compared him to Gale?
Yeah, how dare you?
It's true.
You will never know.
You hate him more because I made a point.
No, I don't think you made the right point.
I made a point, though. I made a point, and it resonated just like when you found out Prim was not as old as you thought she was, and you're like, and it just pissed you off even more.
That made me feel... No, fuck that. Listen. Anyways, I'm going to move on. So, does that mean that maybe... Okay. Here's what's kind of landing for me right now.
Okay.
I think I relate to Snow.
In what sense?
In the sense that I feel like one of the things that I enjoy about his character is how detached he is from the torture. So here's the thing. We come from third world countries where we know things aren't like we have them here. And we both have families. But I feel like, and this might be, I don't know, I'm going to say it, but I might need to go back to the drawing board with it. But I think a lot of us have a lot of Snow in us. I feel like we see the awful things that are happening back in our countries, and we see like even our families go through it. But I think that we then like hear it and we're like, oh, that makes me feel bad, horrible. And then we go back and we're like, so anyways, what am I eating today?
Yeah.
And that's what I think Snow has done. I think like, oh shit, that's actually kind of sad and that sucks and I don't want anybody to die. But also like, why isn't my limousine here?
But I don't think Snow ever is like, that's sad, that sucks, I don't want him to die. I think he's just like,
these pathetic maggots, in a way. But at the same time, he's not mean about it. He's not an asshole. Whatever. The whole point that I'm trying to bring here is what I dislike about Sejanus is that he wasn't about it. I think he tried to be, but he wasn't. And what bothers me is that he is very much like, this sucks. And I understand that he feels like that sucks. But he doesn't really do much during the time that he's in the Capitol or even before the games.
He's a student, though. What the fuck is he going to do? He's not a man.
I mean, yeah, Gale was young, too.
Yeah, and Gale was forced to become a father figure at a very young age, and Sejanus wasn't. Sejanus was pampered and primed his whole life. He never had to worry about money and food.
But you still hate Prim.
But it's different because Prim didn't show up as a sister, and Sejanus, it's not about that. I understand what he's saying, and I understand why he feels the way he does, and it is valid because it's like, Alejandra, he didn't go to the Capitol as like a 2-year-old. He went there as like 8, 9, fully aware of the difference between his home and this place. And he didn't want to go. And his dad took him there to save him because he was like, they're going to start reaping people.
So get your fucking shit together.
But it's like you see your friends, you see what you come from, you see your home, and now you're in this vapid viper's nest where everybody is just like money and power, money and power.
Shape
and you
the
weren't
fuck
raised
up.
like that. You weren't raised like that.
Shape the fuck up.
You know how to value human life. And now you live in a situation where they're going to your home and taking people and throwing them in a jungle, not a jungle, in a stadium to fight for the death. Mm-hmm. I think you would have a problem with that too.
I think you shape up.
I think you would be pissed. I don't think you would conformarte.
I don't think so.
I think you would be like, this is fucked up, just like him. Because if you came very little, right.
Who wouldn't say, of course you're going to say, this is fucked up. But guess what? Get in line. Because any motherfucker in District 2 would wish to be in your
Not
shoes.
Marcus.
Bullshit.
Because when he comes with food, Marcus is like, fuck you and your food.
Of course. Because that's what he has to do.
No, he doesn't.
But if you are
hungry.
No, if he asked,
he didn't eat.
Do you want Sejanus to go back to District 2 and you take his place? Who the fuck wouldn't? Nobody.
I don't think it's that black and white.
100%.
I don't think so.
Because at the end of the day, when you're trying to survive, the majority of this
maybe
goes back to
like,
Dr.
I'll
Gao.
go for the Capitol. But I don't think they'd be like, now me voy a conformar and I'm going to be evil. Because these people have a deep hatred for the Capitol.
But I don't think it's
that's
evil.
how the districts view the Capitol. There's a disconnect.
Okay.
They don't see them. They never interact with them. All they see about the Capitol is grandeur, luxury. They profit off of us. And then they take our children once a year and they die. That's all they see. So yeah, would one of them be like, yeah, I want to go live in the Capitol where I'm safe? But would they be like, I'm so excited. Katniss is like, these people are disgusting. Peeta is like, these people are disgusting. All the victors are like, the Capitol is fucking disgusting. All of them.
But they have a reason to.
And so do the districts.
No.
Yes.
Back when this book is put, things are not that luxurious in the Capitol anymore.
They're not as luxurious as they used to be, but it is still the place that is siphoning money and children from the districts. The districts are impoverished because of the Capitol.
Well, yeah, for sure. And the Capitol's on top.
Children are being taken and like dying in an arena and being put on TV for everyone to see them every year.
So it doesn't land.
Right, they can't see them. So all they see is a villainized version. There's a difference when you see Snow in these Hunger Games books, and you just see him as this, like, he's the villain. And then there's a difference when you read his book and you live with him, right? They don't live with him. All they see is the Capitol. That's it. So their view of the Capitol, yes, I am sure that somebody would be like, yeah, I want to go to the fucking Capitol. I don't want to die. But I don't think, not everybody. Gale wouldn't do it.
Well, because he's a stand-up
Prim wouldn't do it.
Yeah, she fucking
No,
would.
she wouldn't.
What?
Katniss wouldn't do it.
No, not Katniss, but Prim would be like, let me get snickerdoodle.
She'd be like, Katniss! She would not.
Bullshit.
She would not.
Fucking bullshit.
She would not.
Prim would totally
Finnick
go.
wouldn't do it. Joanna wouldn't do
No.
it. There's a lot of people that wouldn't do it.
But that's not fair because you're describing people that have been seeing this and this is 75 years in, when we know that
But this
what
is
I loved
10
about
years in.
yeah,
10
but
years of your children being taken and dying, and 10 years of the Capitol starving you.
it's different though, because here's the thing. No, it's even worse later, because 10 years in, they have not even gotten as half as creative, as fucked up as they got 75 years later.
But what happens does not change, which is that they take their kids and they die,
Yeah.
and they are impoverishing the districts, because Snow says it that when they're driving into District 12, he's like, there's mothers with their doors open and children with visible rib cages playing. They're starving them.
Yep.
They're starving them. They're abusing them with the fucking peacekeepers in District 11.
What's
And
the alternative
they're
here?
taking their kids. So my point is, if they were like, somebody, you want to come live in the Capitol? I'm sure they would have takers. But would they be like, the Capitol, I love it now? No. They would probably feel very similar to Sejanus, where they'd be like, fuck this place, fuck these people, fuck these games.
But
You don't know
they
that.
would fall in line.
don't know
Sejanus
that.
was annoying because he wouldn't just fall in line.
Sejanus was annoying because he was pampered his whole life and didn't know how to handle that situation. But if it had been somebody like Gale, you would have loved it.
100%, because it's even worse. Because Sejanus has been pampered his whole life. What the fuck are you complaining about?
What he's complaining about is the situation where he's like, this sucks. Do you not see the parallel though?
There is no comparison from Gale to Sejanus.
Honest, you don't see a single similar thing. Alejandra, nope. You're full of it then.
I promise.
Estás ciega.
I promise I don't see one fucking
So
thing.
you don't see that they both have the same views?
No.
What is the difference?
They have similar views.
Okay, what's the difference?
Not
execution, views. Not how they execute their views, but their beliefs. You don't see any similarity there.
No, I think Gale is way more like, I think they can both recognize that it's wrong what the Capitol is doing. And that's where it ends. That's it.
And are they not both frustrated with what's happening?
They can be frustrated.
And do they not both want change?
No. I think Gale wants annihilation.
Which would be change. You know I'm right. Let her know.
I don't think... No.
I'm not saying they're identical.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to just summarize it because I don't want to, like, take up all of the time talking about this, and then you can give your final thoughts on this. But my summary is they are different, for sure.
Yeah.
In that I think that Janus...
Janus.
¿Cómo se llama? Juanes. We took like 3 shots, so I'm a little bit like, oh, I forgot how to say his name.
I don't even know how many shots I've taken.
3.
I really, like...
Maybe 4.
Yeah, I really feel it.
Do you not? Oh, I have blush. I was like, don't you see my cheeks are pink? Because that's when I start getting like tipsy, my cheeks turn pink. And I'm like, you don't see my cheeks? So I have blush on and foundation. I'm like, dumbass, hello.
You know? This is what it means to be booked and buzzing.
This is being booked and buzzing. You see?
I fucking love it.
We should take shots in between.
We really should at this point. Okay. We should film us taking shots.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, just so you know, we'll put the recipe for this mierda in the description, but
just don't do it.
Like, don't drink this.
Don't drink this.
We'll let you know what shots we're having.
I'm gonna try to. You know what I think it is that I think that I saw in the recipe. I saw put fresh lime juice, and I'm like, you know what would be great to add to that? Vodka lime.
But I would have thought it's the same thing.
No, I think I put too much lime. I think that's the problem.
But when I drink the vodka shots, I like them with the lime. Like right now, we were drinking them and they tasted good.
No, well, true. Maybe the coconut cream then.
I think it's too dense for me. Because I like a crisp drink, but I think this is too dense.
Yeah.
Anyways, Closing thoughts on Sejanus.
Okay,
Juanes.
so here's my thing with Sejanus. The whole idea behind this is that I know that, like, you are obsessed with making sure that I know that you hate Gale, but I love you. But here's the thing. I think overall, what I really hated about Sejanus is that his lack of ability to adopt.
I get that. I get that.
It really drove me crazy, and I think like the moral compass of whoever the hell like comments on this is going to be like, how is he going to fall in line for such a fucked up system? Fair, I get it, I understand. This is why you die. Like it is what it is. These are the Hunger Games. This is post-war. Either get in fucking line or you're going to be killed.
No, I get where you're coming from with that, though.
Yeah, and that's why my biggest problem with him is that, like, how dare you, in a way, like, create a struggle that you don't actually have. Like, I understand that you feel for other people that actually have this struggle, but you've never been without. Mm-hmm. You're just feeling survivor's guilt is what it is.
Yeah, I think that's a fair analysis of him.
You're feeling survivor's guilt. And what happens when we know through history about what happens from survivor's guilt? They are all knowing as fuck in their opinions about things that do not affect them. So I do not take him seriously because he's stupid. And his way of trying to help things just makes Snow be like, shut the fuck up.
I don't think it's
and you
that
put
he's
Snow,
stupid.
you put people in predicaments that they shouldn't be in to save your ass. It's like when Snow had to go into the arena.
I don't think he could have anticipated that, though.
No.
How would he have known, like, oh, they're gonna send another student? Look, he's also a child. Listen, you have to remember.
No, because if I can hate on Prim, I can hate on Sejanus.
No, you cannot, because Prim is from District 12, and she was brought up with strife and difficulty, and this is a pampered boy. The same way that
so I can hate on him more.
Cornelius.
Coriolanus?
Corey. Same way.
Corio. That was his nickname.
Cada cual. Snow.
Corio.
Coriosito. The same way that
Déjame
he
citar un
was...
par de cositas de Corio. Okay.
Okay.
This poor guy was just trying to make it. And he had a thorn on his side called Sejanus. Oh my god.
Okay, espérate. Let me just finish with Juanes. Okay, so I can't read his name, bro. And we're like 3-4 shots in, so I'm like, te llamas Juanes y tú, your name is Corey.
Okay.
So
we might have to put on the show notes like Sejanus equals Juanes.
Yeah. So Juanes in English would be like Juanes, bro. Fucking forget it. Spell it however you want. Anyways, look, I think that Juanes was like very pampered and did not know how to execute anything properly. I think he felt a lot of guilt, like you said, correct?
Survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
And to be eliminated.
Well, okay.
Here's the problem. I do agree with that. I do think, are these the shots talking?
We don't. Because I'm like, where are we going with this? Cause
listen to me very carefully.
I'm listening. I'm not understanding. I don't know if it's the shots or the conversation.
I don't know, because here's the thing.
But what,
the level of Sejanus's survivor's guilt is a liability. You're putting people in.
I agree with this part.
Fucking danger.
I do agree with this.
Crazy shit.
I do agree with this.
I'm actually surprised Snow didn't kill him himself. Half the fucking book.
Listen, I agree with that. He did, especially in District 12. I was like, mijo, ya, para.
¿Hasta cuándo?
I agree. At that point, I was like, pero oh my god, you're like a dog with a fucking bone. Stop.
That's what I'm saying.
But you're comparing him to Prim, and what I want to say about that is Prim was raised at the bottom of the barrel. Yes, she was pampered Prim, perfect Prim, in the fucking scene, bitch. Not in the capital, not even in the town. She was raised in fucked up circumstances where I'm like, you know more than a fucking regular 12, 13-year-old. You're more mature up here because you have to be. Because look at your fucking surroundings. Yeah. And also, people are being reaped constantly. Tú no eres una bobita. And they're forcing you guys to watch the Hunger Games. So you see that shit. And you almost starved to death as a little fucking kid. Like, tú no eres boba. She knows more than, she's way more mature. However, Juanes, he comes from like a little rich daddy. He didn't have the struggles that Prim did. And then he goes to the Capitol. So you cannot compare the two. I think he is annoying. I think he does put people in fucked up predicaments. I don't think that the arena is a fair. I think it was dramatic to go into the arena to get yourself killed. Bro, there's other ways, you know? Less dramatic ways.
He can't because he needs to be dramatic.
Right. But also, like, Coriolanus says it too, where he's like, you really think they're going to let that air? Like, are you dumb? And then he's like,
that goes into one of my favorite quotes in the book, where Dr. Gaul is like, I deleted that shit. No one can ever see these games again. And I'm like, it doesn't even matter anymore. All this shit, it's basically like, honestly, it's what Snow says. It's like, this guy is just going to be erased.
Yeah.
The whole thing is erased. Lucy Gray is erased.
So,
which is why we probably don't know about any more District 12 victors.
Probably.
Yeah.
Which somebody in the comments alluded to that in one of our TikTok videos. Remember that we were like, we clipped one of our podcast episodes where we were talking about nobody has volunteered other than Katniss, and somebody commented on that clip and they were like, that we know of. They might have erased it. And you commented and you were like, you think that's a possibility? And they were like, yeah, like I think that the districts, like I think the Capitol might have erased certain things.
That person was playing with us.
And that tracks with this book.
They're like, have you read the rest of the books?
They're like, what part did you leave off on?
These sweet little girls.
Oh,
they don't know.
Say that.
Okay. I think we've done a lot of analyzing Sejanus and Snow for a little bit.
And the comparisons between Gale and Snow and Gale and
that they're nothing
Juanes,
alike.
That they're exactly alike and that you love
and that we hate
Juanes
fucking Sejanus, but not Gale because Gale's great.
The same. So, okay. Where do you want to segue, or do you...
Okay, so I do want to say one conspiracy thing.
Okay.
Conspiracy thing that I dislike. Okay, so this is actually my only complaint in the book. I only have one. Mm-hmm. I dislike that there is no... I think this is intentional, but I dislike that there is no background to where Tigris goes.
Okay, what happens between Tigris and Snow?
So that's all. We don't know anything. So
he comes back. In the Hunger Games books, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we come back to the Capitol.
And she's on the rebellion side.
Yeah, but like almost like the bottom of the food chain in the Capitol.
Right, but she's also like, fuck my cousin.
Yeah, 100%.
So what happened
there? Is Suzanne going to give us another book?
Well, she gave us the Haymitch book. I don't know.
Like a shit ton of years later. Well, let's hope so. But, okay, that's a good point. We have not read that one yet. But that's my biggest complaint with this notebook. Because what happens in the book is that he comes back to the Capitol and he has this meeting with Dr. Gao, and she's basically like, do you think that I spent so much time trying to teach you for you to just rot away at District 12? Like, you're going to go to the university this fall. You're going to study under me. Mm-hmm. And there's an interaction between him and the Plinth family. And Papa Plinth is like, we lost our son. You don't have parents. We should make a deal to just be a family. Mm-hmm. Then they bring the grandma and Tigris into the family, and they're all pretty much coexisting. Mm-hmm. So the way that this book ends is that Tigris is in the family home. Everything's good. Everything's fine. They're a family. Mm-hmm. And that is it. And then we segue into the Hunger Games, where we know Tigris is on the rebellion side, and they're helping Katniss, like, sneaking them into the shop. Mm-hmm. What happened?
Well, this is a good segue into everything that we see in the Hunger Games, all the accessories that have been added to the Hunger Games happen in this book.
Yeah. Like, like the bedding,
the token,
crazy animal.
The token.
What do you mean?
He gives Lucy Gray the compact, and she puts rat poison in there, which he's like, put the fucking
And
rat
it's like,
poison.
you know what
He
to
tells her
do.
to do it.
Yeah.
But he gives her the token. And when Dean Highbottom is like, this shit that was filled with rat poison, he's like, I just gave her the compact as a token. I don't know what the fuck she put in it. And he's like, let's say I believe you. Blah, 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 blah. And he keeps like pointing at other stuff. But he says it, token. And that's what it's like referred to as later. The betting, the mentors, the interviews.
Everybody needs to watch in all the
Everybody needs to
districts.
watch him acknowledging when he's in District 12 in the Covey house. He's like, how is everybody supposed to watch the games when they can't even have a TV in their own house? And then the little, what is it called? The little parachutes being sent to the tributes.
Oh, yeah, like the food and stuff.
The mentors, the advocating for favorites, the crowds starting to pick favorites.
Yeah, like the integration of the crowd to this like gruesome game.
Snow says it. He's like, how do you expect them to fight if they're malnourished? They're not even being fed. So you see
the progression,
the buildup of all the things that he's going to add in this book.
And then now in the Hunger Games, they're like basically
It comes to
celebrities for a
fruition.
week. Yeah,
and it comes to fruition. Everything that he talks about, they're super well fed. They're like pumped with food. They train.
So much food.
They have interviews. They have mentors. And he says it. He was like, the students being mentors is not a good idea. Like that, or not, like that plan is going to be discontinued. But he talks about like how that's part of like what got people interested in
next?
It. Yeah. Right. So like everything that was added or mentioned in this book gets integrated into the Hunger Games later on. So that makes me wonder, going back to Tigress, like throughout this whole book, Tigress is good.
Yeah, she hates the games.
She sees like Lucy Gray and she's like, poor thing. And Grandmam or whatever is like,
and she's like busting her little butt to like give
food
Snow
for her.
stuff.
She tells her, give her my dress and I'll clean it. And like, she's never spoken
like,
to Lucy Gray.
No,
she doesn't know
like
her.
Worried about what Snow is wearing.
And if she was like Grandmam, she'd be like, disgusting district filth.
Nothing like that.
And she's like, oh my God, these poor people, these poor things.
So true.
So you have to also think about like, where does Snow take everything and who is she ultimately?
Well, and you know what's interesting to me is that I feel like Snow at the end of the book is very like, there is no space for love. I have another quote that I think will bring you in to like the last like 5 pages.
Okay.
But I think that this kind of segues right into like, where does Tigress land here? Because I think prior to the end of the book, we see Tigress as someone that he genuinely cares for and loves, right? So then he goes, right? Sometimes he would remember a moment of sweetness and almost wish things had ended differently. He's talking about Lucy Gray.
Right.
But it would never have worked out between them, even if he'd stayed. They were simply too different. And he didn't like love the way it had made him feel stupid and vulnerable. If he ever married, he'd choose someone incapable of swaying his heart, someone he hated, even so they could never manipulate him the way Lucy Gray had, never made him feel jealous or weak. And I saw this quote and I'm like,
Does it say who he marries?
No, but he goes, Livia Cardew would be perfect. He imagined the two of them, the president and his first lady, presiding over the Hunger Games a few years from now.
I forget her. Who is she like the mentor of?
She was the mentor for Facette, the male tribute from District 1.
I don't remember her at all.
Livia was known for her rivalry with Coriolanus Snow and her tendency to glow, especially when her tribute was from favorite District 1.
I don't really remember her, but also there were so many mentors that it was really hard to keep up with.
Yeah, it was hard to keep up with, but I think it's one of the ones that he mentioned never getting along with. But the reason why this quote really got me is because since I don't have closure with the Tigress situation, I genuinely feel like he is. Before he was very goal oriented. and he always wants to land on top. And now he's like, I can't have any love.
So you think he cut her off?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think that he cut her off, and I think that he didn't want anybody that would make him vulnerable in any way. So I'm assuming that he didn't have kids.
No, he did because he has a granddaughter.
Does he?
Yeah, because in the last book, Joanna is like, they're talking about having a Hunger Games for the Capital Kids, and she's like, oh yeah, I say yes, and also Snow has a granddaughter, so maybe she could be in it. So he has to have at least one kid.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, you're right. Crazy. And the granddaughter loved Katniss.
In the movies.
Yeah.
In the books, you don't see her.
No, it's true. Okay, so that was the only moment that I was like, but what happens? Like, what's up with Tiger? So maybe we'll get a little bit more background.
That we knew more.
Yep. We have to assume that he cut her off, especially if in the Hunger Games she's eating the rebellion. And in the Hunger Games,
something had to have happened.
Something had to happen because and we know that at one point
she was a stylist.
Yes, in the Hunger Games, as they're evolving, they have stylists, they have this, and she went too far.
But no, like
she went too far in body modifications.
Yes, but Katniss says, she looked because my girl Katniss. Time and place, she's just not there.
No.
And she's like,
the point is
Tigress
missed.
In the most vulnerable position where Tigress could call a peacekeeper and be like, she's right here. And she's like, I just want you to know I'm going to kill Snow. And Tigress smiles and she's like, good. So she has hatred or something very
it's not even like a fallout. It's like something hatred. Yep. 100%. But like, why are you doing this, Suzanne? I don't like this is crazy because I feel like this freaking book came out in 2020 and it's 2025 and the next book comes up. Am I going to be like 80 to find out what happened? But anyways, that's my biggest point. The other big point that I really, really wanted to make within this whole like book that I loved, I think this book was a 10 out of 10 for me. I really, really enjoyed it. I loved that at the end, my boy Snow was getting fully funded by the Plinth family. Did you see that part of the movies?
Yes.
Okay, so fully
But in the movies,
funded.
he's shady about it. Like, they don't know that he's the one who basically turned in Sejanus.
No, so they don't know.
Okay, so they're basically like, we are going to take care of you as our son. Like, everything that you did for Sejanus.
Because you're his best friend.
Yeah. And he's like, okay, I love Sejanus.
That's like crazy. So he basically sends the Jabberjay to Dr. Gaul. I'm going to have to like look at this clip and be like, did we ever say that word right?
Go to Google speech to see how they say it.
The fuck?
How do they do it?
It rhymes with ball.
Gaul?
Gaul.
No, Gaul. Okay.
I agree.
How the fuck is that Gaul?
I don't understand.
Would that not be
it's
G-A-L-L?
That's what I'm saying. So it's spelled G-A-U-L.
You know the comments are going to be littered with like, well, our comment section is pretty like empty right now, but
so I would love you to comment.
Yeah, but it's going to be like, you're dumbasses because the A and the U make the
sound. It says Gaul. You should say it like ball. So it should be like Gaul.
No,
Dr. Gaul.
Uh-huh.
Anyways, this is what's kind of like, there's so much in between the lines with Collins. It's like she's amazing. But are we going to then assume that Dr. Gaul, Dean Highbottom, whoever the hell else heard this Jabberjay, is like, Gaia, Snow helped us. So everybody's in on the fact that the Plinth family completely funds Snow. And no one finds out.
Well, I think that... So I'm telling you from my perspective, Dr. Gaul like did see something in Snow. Like she wasn't just like,
I agree.
oh, he's like, I'm gonna just pick him. Like I think that she was like, I think she saw through him.
Yep.
And she was like, you have what your dad had, which was his dad is the one who was like, this is a good idea. Let's do these fucking games.
Yeah.
I think she saw in him
The
like
perseverance.
you can do what it takes, even if it's disgusting.
Yep.
And I think she saw that, and that she obviously did foster
Yep.
that for
Yep,
him.
yep,
She
yep,
kept
yep.
pushing him. And like, I think that when he sent the Jabberjay and like, she was like, excellent, basically killed
My job
Sejanus.
is proved.
Right. And then he comes back. I think she has no intention of like unveiling that because now he has finally become who she knew he was.
Yes, and she can't like bill out Snow.
Right. But they say it all the time. Like, it's Dean Highbottom is not in charge. It's Dr. Gall. And he even says to Snow, he was like, I was trying to get you kicked out from the handkerchief that you stole the food. But Dr. Gall was like, no, let's see where he goes with this. I think that he has it in him, blah, 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 blah. So the one with the real power is her.
Dr.
It's
Gall.
not Dean Highbottom.
Do we even know who the president is during this time?
Yeah, it's Rivenstill. What's a random person? One of the mentors is the nephew, the grandnephew of the president.
Yep.
And he's at the memorial for Arcane,
Yep.
where like Coriolanus sings and he sings the anthem and the president is like,
Which is so funny. Why is he singing? But nonetheless.
because you know what I loved? That we see the hanging tree being written by Lucy Gray.
Loved that.
And it becomes such a big part of the rebellion in the last book. And
Okay,
it's
so
like, it comes back to Snow.
Love that part.
And
I love that
you see the creation of it, which is the guy that's being hung.
He's being
right?
hung. Yep.
And then he tells his lover, which is Lou or Lily? Lil. He's like, run, Lil, run. And then that's when the Jabberjay's repeated and the Mockingjay repeats it. And she like narrates it in the song. And then you see it in Mockingjay being sung by Katniss. And then Katniss is like, oh, my mom doesn't like this song. I don't know why.
Yep. I love that.
That was such a golden nugget.
Create 100%. I'm going to read that because I think it's really important. So this is right when he notices that Lucy Gray is trying to run away from him, and he's like chasing her with a fucking rifle. And she can totally see him from wherever she's at, right? Like, that's the assumption. And like I don't understand where he thought he was going to get with like a whole peacekeeper rifle. And he goes, Lucy Gray, won't you talk to me? And she starts singing. So she sings the Are you coming to the tree? We're a necklace of rope side by side, whatever, all that shit. And then it goes, yes, I get it, he thought. You know about Sejanus. Necklace of rope and all that. And I read into that sentence so much because it sounded so sarcastic to me. Like, necklace of rope and all that. Like, you think I'm going to sacrifice myself for you?
Well, he did.
When he thought he had nothing left.
No, he did it in the Capitol for her.
He never thought he was going to get caught.
But he knew. He says it when he's walking home.
I see.
He was like, I need to stop breaking rules. He's like, this girl is taking me too far. I'm becoming someone that I'm not. I'm doing too much. And then even when he's like, sees the snakes, he throws his like napkin in, whatever, his hanky, whatever it's called. And like, he has several thoughts where he's like, I could get kicked out for this. I could get in huge trouble for this, but I have to save her. She's my girl. I love her. Yeah. I do think he loved her.
I think he was infatuated.
I think she was the first person that he felt something for.
It's fair, but the second that they were like,
I don't think it's true love.
By the way, like, you get to go to District 2 and be an officer, and then he ends up in the shed, and they're like, oh, that's the only thing that's keeping me here. Immediately in the book, he was like, and I'm fucking leaving. Like, he didn't give a fuck about Lucy Gray at that point. He was like, I'm sure she'll make it. And he was ready to go. So
I can't speak to it.
In the book, right? And yeah, it's different. I haven't seen the movie.
In the movie, it's similar, but I didn't read it, so I can't be like, wait, but in this part he says that. So I don't have an argument.
So just to kind of keep it like whatever, he gets called into the commander's office or whatever, and they're like, hey, you actually passed the exam, whatever, in flying colors. You're the youngest person. We're gonna move you to District 2, and you're leaving tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And he's like, great, now I'm going to run away because I'm going to get to District 2 and then they're going to find the murder weapon and they're going to fucking kill me anyway. So I need to run away regardless, like, even if I got this opportunity. Mm-hmm. So he leaves with Lucy Gray. They get into the shed. In the shed, he finds the murder weapon. And he's like, this is the only thing tying me to the murder. If I get rid of this, I can go to District 2 and live my life and find power. Mm-hmm. Like that. Literally like that. Lucy Gray's like, I'm going to go get Katniss, which was hilarious to me, the potatoes. I'm like, Katniss was like literally born to destroy Snow. It was hilarious. It was literally hilarious. I loved it. And she leaves and he's like thinking about it in the cabin and he's like, I'm going to get rid of this fucking gun. And then he's like, wait a minute. This bitch's been gone too long. Oh shit, she's on to me before I was on to myself. Mm-hmm. She's like, he leaves with the fucking peacekeeper's rifle and shit. And he's like, I'm fucking leaving. Mm-hmm. I'm fucking leaving. He didn't love her. I think he was infatuated by what she gave him in the games. When he was disappointed in getting the District 12 tribute. And she showed up and she was the star of the show. And he was like, oh, that's my salvation.
No, I don't think that he has the capacity to selflessly love someone. Similarly, like to Gale. Mm-hmm. Okay, but no, I just wanted to tirarte un puyo. Listen, I think that by the time we see Snow in the shed, he's changed so much from the beginning of the book. Yeah. I think that he's had to shed his Percy life and Percy self. I think he's had to endure shame. I think he's had to...
He takes it in stride, though. No. So he's not compared to Sejanus or Gale.
No, he doesn't, because he's like about to cry himself to sleep in the fucking like bunk when he's like by himself. Really?
Yeah,
he's like about to cry himself to sleep on the bunk when he's by himself. And then Sejanus walks in and he's like, Sejanus! And he's so happy to see someone he was super annoyed of. So, no.
And that's fine, but he's a class act.
No, I wouldn't go that far.
He is.
No, anyways.
Snow is a class act.
I think that the Snow you see at the end of the book is not the Snow you meet in the beginning.
No.
I think had he not been forced to go to District 12, his love for Lucy Gray would have remained. But I think because he was forced into this situation where his nature, like, and his whole upbringing and all his teachings and everything that Dr. Gaul has been trying to stick in his head. Yeah. If it hadn't been for Dr. Gaul and also having to go to this District 12, I don't think he would have been like, let me get rid of this bitch and go back to the capital.
I do. I do. I think he was always going to find a way to get the fuck out.
Yes, but not by killing. Not by killing her.
He only tried to kill her when the second that he thought he was being hunted.
But why did he think he was being hunted?
Because she disappeared.
And
there's a part in the book where he literally goes, he did love her. He did. It was just that only a few hours into his new life in the wilderness, he knew he hated it, whatever, all that stuff. Then all she has to say is, I understand I'll go alone like I was planning to all along. But just this morning, she'd admitted she didn't think she could make it on her own. He goes, Lucy Gray, please, I just want to talk to you. What was her plan here? To hide until he grew tired and went back to base and then sneak back home tonight? That didn't work from him. Even with the murder weapon gone, she'd still be dangerous. What if she went back to District 12 now and the mayor succeeded in getting her arrested? Like, basically, what if she rats him out, right? Still no sign of her. And then she noticed he's like feeling it, like he's frightening her. He's feeling like he doesn't really know what his plan is here, but he just wants to confront her. And then she leaves the trap for the snake. And then that's when he's like, Lucy Gray has tried to kill him. This was no coincidence.
But who said that that was a trap for him?
She left the scarf that he gave her.
And does that mean I'm gonna kill you if I'm like, fuck this, I'm running away, and fuck your scarf?
If you make a snake bite me.
I didn't make the snake do shit.
We know that everybody has always said that she has an affinity to snakes and where they are and how to use them. Maud Ivory was literally like, she knows how to pull them out of anywhere.
And the
she
snake
planted
didn't
the
poison
fucking
him.
snake there.
Or he's in the woods and coincidentally a snake bit him.
Ma'am.
Look, I'm just saying, I think he was hyper paranoid at that point.
Yeah, because he's like literally looking at all the things that he could do differently.
No, because he's looking at his future and he's like, I just need to know where you are so I can talk to you real quick so I can make sure that you're not going to fucking, like rat me out. And then he's like, but what if she does?
He's being paranoid.
Right. Hyper paranoid.
Yeah. Because love
sir,
her.
You're in a fucking meadow. Okay? You don't think there's snakes there? And look, yeah, maybe she planted it, but did she plant the mockingjay?
No, she used the mockingjay.
But did she plant them originally?
No,
and did she plant the Song of the Hanging Tree? And did she plant Katniss in District 12? No, I'm saying all of these things that have led up, that have been destiny for him, which goes back to what I've said before, where like I feel like Prim was destined to die, Katniss was destined to be in the games, and he was destined to become Snow. And I think that like, could she have planted the snake? Yeah, maybe. But like, she didn't plant the mockingjays when they were like singing and he was like, I fucking hate these mockingjays in the beginning in the hanging tree thing. And she didn't make the song The Hanging Tree to haunt him for the rest of his life. She made it because she saw the hanging and she was like, I want to fucking write this. And she didn't do a lot of things that come back later on.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think she was trying to kill him.
I think so.
No, because if she was trying to kill him, she would have put a poisonous snake.
Okay, not necessarily kill him, but I think that she realized before him that she was a loose strand and she needed to get the fuck out of there.
I think she realized when they were walking to the cabin that he was dangerous because he hid Sejanus' death from her. Yeah. And she was like, if you're willing to kill your best friend, what the fuck are you willing to do to me?
Which is crazy because we know that he wasn't his best friend.
But nobody else does.
I know.
So from her eyes, she's like, you killed this guy you grew up with, who's your best friend.
He made the games because he plays the games so
she's like,
well.
And you kept it from me. When she had just said like...
And what did you find? You found rifles.
What, her?
Mm-hmm. When he like closes the door of the cabin and he's like, is that the murder weapon? And he's like staring at this his salvation.
Listen.
And she's like, what'd you find? And he's like, my future. He's like fucking googly eyed at that. And she's like, I'm gonna go get Katniss.
I think that, which also, like, you see what I mean? Like, did she intentionally say Katniss because she knew later on his demise? No, I just think that, like, if she has an affinity for snakes, then she would know this one is a poisonous, this one is not. I don't think she was trying to kill him. Why did she
have to find a venomous snake in that moment?
Alejandra, if she can pull them from the fucking air, like you're saying that Mauve or whatever the fuck said, then I'm sure she could pull a venomous one from the... And if it's not going to be fucking venomous, why even put it?
To scare him so that she can run away.
She wasn't trying to kill him. She was trying to run away. No, you just said it.
No, I think that it just so happened to scare him. But I think if she could have killed him, she would have.
No, I don't think she would have because...
Yeah, because even in the book, he was like, oh, she's like
because
a
he's
victor.
paranoid.
No, and also she's a victor because she creates this whole Lucy Gray singing girl, but she fucking killed the Wolvie person.
Yeah, because she was in the Hunger Games.
Fair.
And it was the only way she could get out.
Fair.
But she didn't poison everybody. She didn't plant a whole... Look, if she was really a killer, she would have planted a whole bunch of water bottles everywhere with poison in it. And she didn't do that. She put one water bottle out and somebody drank it. And then she poisoned the one that Reaper was drinking from because he had rabies. And she was like, bro, I don't want him to go through what Jessup did.
That was horrible.
And then when Jessup dies, she goes up to him and she's like, I'm not going to leave you alone. Like, she is not like that.
Do we think that Reaper had rabies for real?
She says it to Coriolanus.
Yeah, but then Snow is like, was that real?
Yeah, but at that point, he's paranoid.
Oh, true.
I don't think you can trust the whole forest scene from his perspective because he's paranoid. Like, he now sees his future and he sees one thing standing between him and the glory and the power that he's always wanted. And it's Lucy.
Yeah.
And in this moment of extreme, like,
stress,
he has just had his whole life taken from him. And he's been reduced to District 12 in a fucking forest. And in this moment where he's like, this is disgusting and miserable, and he sees this beacon of light where it's like, wait, I don't have to live in this. That is precious to him. So he's like, I need to make sure to save that. So anything in between this and that is not a clear answer leads him to extreme paranoia, in my opinion.
Which is insane that he even created that Jabberjay recording. Mm-hmm. I thought that was crazy.
Same.
I thought the second he recorded that and sent it to the lab, I was like, ooh. Like, I think he was always paranoid in a way.
No, I think he saw that as his salvation.
True.
I think he was like, maybe this will get me the fuck out of here.
Being paranoid. But no, because at the end he was like, what if they thought I was a co-conspirator and then he got hanged? And what if they
that's what I'm saying. Like, he increasingly gets more and more paranoid. And when he's finally seeing like the light at the end of the tunnel, he's like, I need to get there. And if any leaf gets in my way, then it needs to be burned to the ground, kind of thing.
Yep.
So I wanted to mention like how, okay, so a lot of people online are saying like, what if Lucy Gray is like an ancestor to Katniss? I don't think so. It's not clear. It's never going to be clear.
I wouldn't think so because that would require her coming back to District 12.
I don't think that that's the case.
I don't think so. It would have been cool if we would have seen someone in District 13 like Lucy Gray.
Yeah.
Like she made it out there and she like...
Well, Katniss is a good singer and so is her dad. So it's not a harsh like parallel to draw from.
No, but then we would have to
and they both have an affinity for Mockingjays.
Yes, but then we would have to assume that Lucy Gray made her way back, had a family, and Snow didn't eliminate her.
Well, you don't know.
You know he was going to bomb that shit.
Well, no, okay. So let's go back. He goes to the Capitol, becomes who he becomes, and lets District 12 run rampantly wild because their fence doesn't work. They're all, not all, several people are sneaking out. There's a black market.
A lot of peacekeepers, they're kind of
intentionally cool. Because in District 11 there's super high security. 100%. So that also makes me wonder, like, you hate District 12 or don't, or you have something for District 12 where you know what's going on there.
I think that there was no fear from District 12.
Right. But
they were
but if it was a place where he felt threatened or fearful or like Lucy Gray was still alive, like he just very much treats it in a way favorably because he lets them be. Like, yes, they're still starving, but he doesn't treat them the way he treats District 11. Yep. So that's a little bit weird to me where I'm just like, and I think I said it before, and if I didn't say it, I thought it, like, I was like, why is District 12 so like chill? Yeah. Like their peacekeepers go to the Hob and they're like, you know, like they don't really, they're poor, but like they're not treated as
like horribly.
Awfully as they are in District 11. And I don't know how they are in the rest of them, but District 11 is the most clear example.
Yep.
And so, like, for Snow, I feel like he left District 12 and never looked back. And so Lucy Gray could have gone into town. How would he fucking have known?
I think he would have tied on any loose ends.
But he
if I'm being
didn't,
honest.
because he didn't reinforce anything in District 12.
Right, but in that moment, he was still a university student, etc. We don't know. My assumption is if and when he becomes
he wasn't
the president,
like, can somebody go to District 12?
I think he would have.
I don't think he did, because, like, I feel like if it's how you say, where he's like, oh, nobody would even believe her anyways, and he thought she was dead, like, he wouldn't have looked back on District 12. You know what I mean? Like, he wouldn't have inquired. He wouldn't have, like, done any research. He wouldn't have kept an eye on them.
Things that we don't know.
Right.
I think that the power that he gets, I think he would have had to at one point been
I don't think that Katniss is a descendant of Lucy. I'm just saying that is
if it is a comment, I think it's not. I don't believe in it, because I feel like if I know Snow in the way that I've gotten to know him, at one point in his power drive up, he would have been like, and someone go to District 12 and make fucking sure that there's no Lucy Gray.
But if she, like, let's say she hung out in the woods for a while and then came back with a new name, like, who's to say?
Who's gonna not know her?
She's a teenager. If she comes back at 30
something. Live in the shed for 40 years?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it is a possibility.
I guess. I think it's slim, in my opinion.
I don't know what happens. I hope that she lived. I don't think that she is.
I don't think she lived.
I don't think that Katniss is a descendant of hers. But it does also, like, when you look at them, they're the only two female District 12 victors, right? Mm-hmm. And they're starkly different. Mm. Like, Lucy Gray, like PETA, plays into the politics. She's like, y'all want to hear me sing? And she sings her little songs, and she's like, why, that's the finest thing I've ever seen, to, like, little kids and stuff like that. Yeah. Whereas Katniss is like,
I hate you all.
Hello, I'm Katniss. Like, she's not
I don't want to be
personable.
Here.
And they're like, what do you like about the Capitol? And she's like, the food.
Nothing.
Like, the stew's really good. Like,
so funny.
She doesn't, they're very different.
That's true.
The only things really that they have in common are singing, the Mockingjays, and
District 12.
District 12. What did you think of Lucky Flickerman?
I fucking love that.
Really, I found him so annoying.
I know, I loved it. But it was so funny because they had, like, the little parrot that they wanted to talk to. And Dean Highbottom was like, please get me out of here.
No, and I love how, like, whenever parrot. Dr. Gowl would be there, he'd be like, give me my parrot. He was scared of her.
Porque está loca la
chica. Justifiably so.
Está loca. Dude, the scene with the snakes. To me, I'm like, oh, I like this. I mean, it's horrible. Mm-hmm. But when I'm reading this book, I was like, this bitch didn't. No. Olvídate. Run.
I loved how he loved her in the Capitol.
It's funny because I know you're going to disagree, but I just never felt love.
So what did you feel that he...
Infatuation.
What? Infatuation doesn't lead you to risk your life for somebody.
Yes, if your goal is to win.
No, but at a certain point, he says it. He's like, this is dangerous. I can get in trouble. I shouldn't do this. And he does it.
Because he's power hungry and he knows that if she wins, he wins.
He very clearly says, like, I need Lucy to live. She saved my life. He says it.
I don't think he knows.
I don't agree.
I think that at the end of the day, he's infatuated. Like, I'm not saying he doesn't care for her. Love, though? No. I think he cares about her, and also he realizes he has a winning personality in this girl, and he wants to win.
I'm not saying it's true love.
Right.
I think it's puppy love. I think that's the first girl he's ever loved. That's not infatuation. Infatuation 100%. Is like, this person, I want to be with them, but it's not, let me risk my life for them. I think he says it. He's like,
infatuation is like an obsession for short term.
Listen, he says it, that he's like, I have been around Capitol girls my whole life, and there's beautiful girls like Clemmy probably the most beautiful girl, followed by no sé quién. And he's like, and none of them have ever made me feel what Lucy makes me feel.
Because she has a significant stake to his success.
No.
I think so. 100%.
Yeah, she does have a stake to his success, but I don't think it's that.
No, I think that Snow recognized her as someone attractive, different, new, and underlining, which is that kind of back and forth that Snow goes through the entire book, where he's a good person, he's not a good person, he's a good person, he's not a good person. I think that he genuinely ended up caring for her because he recognized the humanity in her and was like, I obviously don't want her to die, and I do have somewhat a care for her. And also, I think he wouldn't have broken so many rules if there wasn't a prize at the end of the game.
I don't agree. I think he did love her. I don't think it was like true intense love. I think it was, and I'm not trying to like bring Gale into it, but I think it was like a similar kind of situation where it's like he loved Katniss in a way that wasn't like true. Like it wasn't true love, but it was significant. He did love her.
I don't think it can't even. Gale loved Katniss.
It's obviously different because he knew her for years and he was friends with her and their bond was deep.
If Gale loved Katniss, I'm saying if because I don't know. I'll have an opinion on that later. Snow did not love Lucy Gray.
I think he loved her. I just think that the way he loved her was not a selfless, beautiful love. I think it was first love. I think it was, he had never felt something like that before. And I think it was, I think Snow is a flawed character.
But you said it in the beginning. He has always been the same person. Selfish, driven, power hungry.
That doesn't mean he can't
love in the world.
Yes, there is.
I don't think so because even he in the entire book struggles with liking this girl.
Just because
and at the end was like,
he is
I'm not
all
doing
of these things before
that has to do with love.
Just because he is selfish, power hungry, entitled does not mean that he doesn't have the capacity to love. It just comes lowest on the list for him.
Which
so
means
he can
that
still
it's
love
not
her.
Really love.
It is, but it's the same way that you argue. It's the same way that you argue that Gale is just mentally, emotionally unavailable, and so he doesn't have the capacity to do for Katniss the things that Peeta does. That's my thing, where I'm like, I think that Snow loves her, but the way he loves her, the way he is, he doesn't have the capacity to put love above other things.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No, I think that he has he doesn't think of love in the way that you're thinking about love.
I understand that. It's low for him, but it's still there.
No.
He still loves. Yeah.
I don't think that
he loves his mom. He talks about his mom in a loving way.
Sure. I don't think that has anything to do with Lucy Gray.
But you're saying he's not capable of love. I think he is.
I don't think that he's capable of feeling romantic love in a moment where his main goal was power. No.
I think so, because he lost power for her.
And it proves, I don't think so. I think he got, how do I say this? I think that Snow got swept up in these games and it was confusing because I think that he did care for her, but I think also he just wants to win. He has a lot at stake here.
Yes,
he's losing his penthouse. His grandma's going crazy. Tigers is doing no sé qué.
Yeah, but no, because he says it himself where he's like, I have already won like the Academy prize, right? Because it doesn't, so the Plinth prize is if like whoever the victor is, they get the money for the university.
Needs that prize.
But the other prize is a full ride to the university, basically.
He's not going to get that one. Because
that's the one.
Does not like him.
That's the one that Dr. Gao would decide, not Dean Highbottom. And that's the one that his teacher, Sturvey, whatever the fuck her name is, was like, you're a shoo-in. Like, you've won this already. Like, it doesn't, and that was before Lucy even got in the games.
But he doesn't feel confident with
yes,
that.
He does, because he even says, I've already won. No, because he says, I've already won that prize. Like, I'm good with that one. But he's like, I don't need to be doing these things for Lucy Gray. In fact, like, I can get in huge trouble for this.
No,
I can
bullshit.
lose. He says it.
No, but then
he
he
says
doesn't.
it.
And something
And then he
changes
does
because
it.
something
Yes.
changes because he's like, I am actually not a shoo-in about this.
No, they say like there's taxes, and then he's like, fuck, I need the Plinth prize. But before that happens, he's like, I'm a shoo-in for this prize. And he's like, so like, I don't need to keep doing this shit for Lucy, but I want to. Like, something in me, like, I hate to see her struggling. I want to help her. So
He's infatuated.
Power, no, he loves her.
No,
Yeah.
he's infatuated.
No, he loves her.
I love that we can argue about this forever.
Yeah.
And I love that we don't have to agree.
We don't, but you're wrong.
Because I'm right.
No,
So,
because you're wrong, actually.
anyways, I think this might be another part that we're just going to be arguing, and you guys need to leave us comments about whose side you're on, like mine.
Me.
One thing that I do want to mention before I forget is I do think that there's a specific part in which I really, really loved. So it's when Sejanus is killed and whatever. No choice. Sejanus had been bent on self-destruction, and Coriolanus had been swept along in his wake. But he hadn't. He couldn't. Sejanus didn't care to. He was what he was. Maybe the wilderness would have been best for him. Poor Sejanus. Poor sensitive, foolish, dead Sejanus. I just wanted to mention this really quick because this is one of my favorite parts where it shows kind of what you're mentioning, where like no matter what, these characters ended up where they needed to end up.
Yep.
Because this is the game they played, and they played the game incorrectly. And this is what I loved about Snow's character, because he's like, I tried to give you so many chances to shape up, and you just want to die.
Yeah, and if you look at the beginning of the book, they kind of end where they start. We're like, Coriolanus is like, I want to be the president. I want power. I want this. That's where he ends. So Janus is, I want to go back to District 2. I want to die. I don't want to do this. There you go.
Yep. So I just wanted to mention that really quick because it's one of my favorite quotes. But I do overall want to just kind of wrap up with you're wrong.
No,
and I do
I'm
think
right.
that
You're wrong. You don't know what you're talking about. And he's just like Gale, igualitos. And so is Sejanus. Sejanus is the Gale of this book.
No hay nada de eso.
And just comment and tell her she's wrong.
Olvídate. Nada de eso.
You don't know what you're talking
about. Nothing.
Everything.
Is there, so I know we're feeling kind of like, guys, we're almost like 4 hours in.
I know.
We need to wrap this up a little bit. But is there a character that we haven't mentioned that you want to mention?
I wanted to mention how fucked up the Clemmy situation was, where it's
Insane.
like, dude, it's a school paper. And you had the inkling that I didn't write it, so you had me stick my hand in a fucking tank of vipers,
nest, basically.
And they bit me, and they fucking like gave
poisoned me
skin. They gave me snake skin.
Yeah.
What the fuck? And how does she go home and tell her parents that?
And the parents don't even go visit
they
her?
She had no, they did. They were in the hospital. And Coriolanus was like walking out.
But do you imagine our Latin parents?
No. They would break down the fucking doors. They'd be like, you think I'm not going to see my daughter?
¿Dónde está?
Bitch, they would drive a bus through the fucking hospital.
100%.
Like, they would just be like, where is she?
They're so crazy. I love them.
Yeah.
But we'd be the same.
Same. Yeah, but they did. They tried to see her because when Corey was leaving, he was like, oh shit, those are her parents. And he hid.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't find out that they haven't seen her until he's in the hospital for the bombing that happened. Which, by the way,
she's trying to like help me.
Yeah. I thought that they were going to like say who did the bombing and nada.
No, it's true.
So also you see a lot of like Easter eggs as to like, so they talk about that the Hunger Games are always in that stadium. They're usually quick, but the bombing changed the infrastructure. So now there's tunnels. Yes. And Lucky says it where he's like, this is different. Like, we're not seeing the victors this time around. And then Lucy tells him like, oh my God, it's like a maze down there. Like we kept hiding and moving around and stuff like that. So you see like the Easter eggs of like, oh, that's an idea.
How they're going to change the arenas.
Changing arenas.
Yep, I like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then, so Clemmy, I was like, how is this just like okay and
Crazy.
allowed.
I know.
Like, this is a child.
I know.
And so many kids died.
And a capital child.
So many mentors died. It was like 4 or 5. And it's like they kept it going. I don't understand how the parents were like, I'm pulling her out.
Yeah. It just speaks to Dr. Gao's influence.
But I'll tell you now, my mom would not give a fuck.
No, I know. Because I don't think we'd be in the capital.
No. No, they would kick us out.
Yeah. I think we'd be totally district.
Yep. No, for sure. Absolutely district. There's no way they would let us cross that threshold into the capital.
But yeah, no, I agree. I think that part was crazy for me too. I'm like, no, she didn't. Those were one of the moments in the book that I was like.
And then the way she's like visibly changed after, where she's like twitching
or
in
when,
the hospital room.
and when they drop the snakes in the arena and Snow's like grabbing her to not make a scene because she's like
Freaking out.
PTSD on the fucking snakes. Insane.
And the way that Gal was like, oh, I got the snake idea from your little friend, like the district girl. So she made the snakes the colors of Lucy's skirt.
Yeah.
And she also used snakes because Lucy put a snake down that bitch's fucking dress, which fuck that bitch, bro. Fuck her. I know. You don't like me, so you have your daddy pick me in the fucking fuck you.
Insane.
I hated her.
That bitch was crazy.
Fuck
But I
her.
loved the opening to the thoughts around that. Because then we would have to start questioning all 75 years of these Hunger Games.
Oh, but I'm sure that there have been many
but it's like
occasions.
Yes, but I like the way they said it. I like the way that they left it open-ended and they think that that's what happened, but we don't know. But now we're like,
But I think it changes because so much changes. So, okay, here's like a side note. Like, the games are horrific in this book, right?
Yeah.
It's literally throwing kids in a pit to kill them, to kill each other. That's horrific.
Yeah.
They become terrifying with all of the snow adjustments.
Yep.
Like, it's scary at that point.
Yep.
And one of the things that I think he adds is the Effie, right? Which is, and it might be because of what he saw, where it's like, okay, you're intentionally like putting people in that, and like, we can't have that. Where it's like, I'm from the capital, and you're going to put all the kids' names in a bowl, and I'm going to pick it out. Me, not you.
That's a good point, actually.
I just feel like a lot of what happened in this book is what changed the games, obviously. Yep. But like fundamentally all of it, basically. Because this is like 10 years later, and it's, you got to think about it as they're like just throwing spaghetti at a wall at that point, trying to see what sticks.
Yes. And you also have to assume that like Dr. Gall had a blast. Because fucking 65 years later, there's even more fucked up shit.
Yeah. But at what point does she like no longer exist?
That's what I don't know. But when you're talking about the 74th and the 75th Hunger Games, she might not be there. But they're as fucked up as ever with some of the mutant shit.
They're even worse.
They're so much worse. So it's like she got free reign and Corio continued on. Is what I'm saying. Yeah. All in all,
I don't think I have anyone else to talk about.
I think that the only thing that I want to mention is I do think that one of the parts that really, it's part of what you're saying that kind of impacted me was that in this game, all the dead bodies were just piled in the arena, and 65 years later, they would pick them up when they would die. I think that this is something that Snow also did, where it's like, get these bodies out of here. Yeah. You know, like and that was horrible.
Announcing one of Victor has died because Lucky was like, I think one of the mentors says something about like, oh, we should keep a scoreboard. And he's like, that's not a bad idea, keeping count of who's left.
But I think that it's all horrible, like you said. But I do think it gives a little bit more humanity to pick up the body when it's gone, you know?
Well, no, because they pick up all the bodies and then turn it into dog mutts that they stick on Katniss. So. So no.
Well.
And then also.
On that note.
Like, as far as you can tell, the winners like go home, in this version.
Yeah.
At some point, Snow starts bringing them back into the games and using them as mentors. And then it goes a step further and he starts using them
For
the
other
capital
shit.
elite in disgusting things.
Yep.
Which is depraved. I think that that's where the line of Corio doing fucked up things in the name of like chaos control, I think that's where it blurs. And he's just like, now it's just
But we don't know
excess.
if he's a part of that.
Alejandra, you think he doesn't know?
I don't think that he doesn't know. I think he knows, and then there's like...
But if you're the president and you know that something fucked up like that is going on and you give a shit,
also,
you would be like, no.
There's also control in elite circles.
Right. But you
Girl,
have to take into account that he studies under Gao, and essentially he's the one who design. You can assume or infer that he's the one who's gonna create and edit the games and the outcome.
How much does our government know about all the weird shit that's going on in Hollywood?
I would probably say a fuckload.
Okay then, and they're still in power.
Right. But that's corruption.
But regardless of whether they agree or not, they can't change that. It's like...
Yes, they can.
No, they can't. Hollywood has happened forever. And the 1 4-year term president is going to come and be like, no, we're going to change it all.
But that's not the same argument, because the Hunger Games you're seeing now is condensed to this little piece of shit circle. And what it becomes is a disgusting monstrosity that Snow initiates. He's the one who develops it to all this shit.
Yeah.
So you can't say like, oh, but this new president is coming in, what is he going to fix everything? Because he's the one who made it what it is. So you knew that this shit was going on with these kids. You allowed it. And I would even say probably...
But it's kind of like, I think he's outweighing the pros and cons.
It doesn't matter at that point. Like,
I know. It's horrible regardless. But I think he's looking at it as like, I can control this little spot of evil versus like, if I stop it altogether.
But what I'm saying is he, before he was president, was probably the head game maker or whatever. The same way Dr. Gaul
An assumption,
directs
maybe.
everything.
Yeah.
Well, she's like, you're going to study under me. What does that mean? That means she's preparing him for that.
Fair.
So before he became president, you have to assume a lot of this was enacted in the games. Like, you already have betting. You already have like the sponsors and the mentors. Like, that all happens in this book.
Yep.
So carrying it on to the next Hunger Games, it's going to happen again, but better. Yeah. So you can't tell me that from here to the 75th Hunger Game, like the victors, like Haymitch is like fucking what, 14, 15, something like that when he gets reaped. And he's younger than Finnick, so he has to be like the 40th or 30th, something like that. Hunger Game. I think he's the 40th something because it's a quarter quill.
He's the 50th.
50th, okay. And he like already knows what happens to those people, to the kids. So from 50 to 10, that's 40 years. You cannot tell me that in those 40 years where Snow was a head game maker and he knew what was going on and he probably facilitated, take these kids and do your thing with them. You can't tell me that he didn't have a part in that. He didn't come into this and be like, what am I going to do? It's already... He did it. He was a part of it.
Fair. No, it's a good point, because prior to when Snow steps in fully, none of that was happening.
Right.
No, it's true.
So I do think that crosses a line where it's like, I think the Snow that we know in this book turns into the Snow we see in the Hunger Games. But I think that he loses a lot of
humanity.
Yeah, because he does have humanity in this book.
He does. And I don't think he can keep humanity and keep the games going.
Probably not.
I think he had to give up something for what he thought was the greater good.
Probably.
Which was to control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any closing thoughts?
I loved this book.
So out of 5 stars, what would you give it?
The show was 5 stars for me.
Interesting.
This was 5 stars for me. I loved the development. I loved the story. I loved the conflict in the character. I loved the side quests that he had to go through where it's like, this bitch is crazy, but I need to be like on her team. I loved that. Like, I loved how deeply I felt like, este chiquito está en District 12 y se jodió. Like, I'm like, this guy's not gonna get out of this. But you know he is, because it's a prequel and you read The Hunger Games and he's a president. But it's kind of like that feeling of like, how is he gonna get out of this?
How are you gonna do it?
How are you gonna do this? What are we gonna do? You know? So like, I just felt like it was such a journey for me. I loved all of it. I loved how open-ended it was. The freak out, the paranoia with Lucy Gray in the meadow. I love the way he didn't give a fuck whether she lived or not. He just left on a train. And when he saw, and he left on the train less than 12 hours after Lucy Gray could have died. And he was like, this is a luxurious train. This is so much better than when I got here. And I'm like, holy shit. I loved it. I thought it was so great.
Petrifying that must have been for her to be walking in the fucking forest with him and realize like, oh my God, he might kill me. Because she does love him, in my opinion. And I think, okay, when I say that she loves him and he loves her, I'm not talking about true love. I'm just saying love comes in many forms.
Sure.
It comes in many shapes and colors and ways.
Well, I
you
think,
love your friends, you love your pets, you love your siblings, your parents, your significant others. There's degrees to it.
There was potential for her. She was like, we're running away together.
At the very least,
to,
he loved her as a friend.
Yep.
So I think he loved her and she loved him back. Do I think it was true, deep love? No. Do I think it was self-sacrificial love? No. But I think that they had love for each other.
She must have been terrified. I know. I get it.
Do you know what that must feel like to be like, oh my God, this person that I thought that I knew, that I loved, in whatever capacity, I'm walking in the forest with him. He's going to fucking kill me. Do you know how and it's just me and him. You know how fucking
believe it or not, I don't think that she noticed that until he noticed the guns.
Even if it's at the guns, right? Because they talk about Sejanus on the way to the cabin.
Yeah.
So I think at that point...
it happened in the cabin where she was like, so who was the third person? And then she's like, what did you find there? And that's when she was like, I need to get the fuck out of here.
But even then, like, you know how fucking scary it must be, like, that he's staring at something and you're like, oh my God. ¿Qué va a pasar? The way he would have chased me, because I would have been like, and like just booked it. Like,
she was so like, smart.
I'm going to go get
She was like, I'm going to go get Katniss. And he was like, but you said they're not ready. You wouldn't imagine what happens in 2 weeks. Yeah, I know. That was great. I'm telling you. I think this was a great book.
If it had been Katniss, she would have been like... No, like if she was Lucy Gray, she would have been like...
If she was Lucy Gray, she would have been like...
Yeah.
1,000%. 0 questions asked.
I love her. But, what did you think of Lucy Gray? Did you like her? Oh, not a quick response.
Yeah, I don't know, actually.
I felt indifferent.
I think so, too. I think that she made a good character in the, she was likable and she was different for him. But I think that I almost feel like she was a cliche.
In what capacity?
Okay. So I think she was a cliche in the sense of like the straight, narrow guy in like a privileged family, and she's like the wild girl.
Oh, I see what you mean. Mm-hmm.
That was like interesting and like wow, and like you're like so colorful and different.
Yeah.
I almost felt like if it almost makes me think of that movie we saw growing up, like The Notebook. Mm-hmm. Where she was like from a good family and he was rich as fuck, and she was rich and her family's like the guy is trash. Mm-hmm. Same scenario. Like he was like from a good family, from the capital, like connections, old money, and she was just like his demise.
Mm-hmm. I see that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I felt indifferent towards her also.
Overall. Yeah. Just like a good cliche as to like how to get him distracted, and then
whenever I would read the lyrics, I'd be like, I don't know what tune to read this with.
oh my god, same.
Like I'd be
I'm
like
so tone deaf.
la 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 la. While I was reading, I was like la 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 la.
I just use the
la.
same tone that I heard from the movies in all the songs.
I just like sang it in my head with like a twang.
Sometimes I would like fucking skip it.
The only one that I was like, I know this, was when she was like, oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling, Clementine. And I was like, I know that.
Yep. But yeah, I think indifferent. But overall, I think that I really love this book.
So your favorite character was obviously Snow. Anybody
100%.
else?
No.
My favorite was Sejanus. Kidding.
This bitch.
I'm kidding. I didn't have a favorite. I liked reading from Snow's perspective. It was very interesting. I felt very indifferent towards pretty much everyone.
I think that it showed such a depth that Suzanne Collins has for characters.
Yeah.
Because how can you write Katniss and Snow so perfectly?
I agree with that.
Great. I thought it was amazing.
I loved the Easter eggs.
Yes.
I didn't really have a favorite person. It was just very interesting. Like it was a very interesting read.
I loved it.
Yeah.
So I think for me, it's a 5 out of 5. I think it's such a great story. And I don't know, maybe my 5 out of 5s will change as we go through this, but we are very excited for what's to come next. So our next episode will be
Sunrise on the Reaping.
Haymitch's book that we've been like waiting to get to.
And it's shorter, so that makes me sad. I wish it was a thick girl.
Is it?
Yeah.
How much shorter?
I don't know, but it's thinner. When I've compared the books, it's not as many pages. Let me see.
Oh, 400 pages.
Okay, just like 100 short, but still, I don't love
100 made a big difference, yeah.
Yeah. But still exciting.
Still exciting. So let us know your thoughts about Snow in the comments.
Tell us who you agree with, me.
And make sure to let her know that Gale is nothing like Sejanus.
Remind her that Sejanus and Gale are twins.
Jesus Christ.
And that the way that Snow loves Lucy is exactly like how Gale loves Katniss.
0%.
Identical.
Jesus Christ.
You love Snow.
Did we read the same book?
But thank you for watching. Leave comments.
Thank you for tuning in.
Let us know your thoughts. Tell us if you have a different take on anything that we missed. Yeah. And look forward to...
And I mean, you can watch this whole episode and see how often we fight.
Yeah.
We love each other, but we have differing opinions. So...
But I think that's a good thing.
Rile us up. Yeah, I think
it gives the viewers a side that you can take.
100%, which is the fun part. Because like I want to see comments where you are telling me I'm right, but it's also fun to see like so many people hate me.
Nobody hates my comments.
You. No, but I mean like hate my point. Like I think you won last episode, so maybe I'll win this time. To be fair,
you took the side that not most people are on.
It's true, but it means that I'm genuine.
Yeah, so that's the thing too. Obviously, we're like we have our opinions and we think what we think, and that's it.
And it is what it is.
And you can see that like she's not changing my mind. I'm not changing hers.
No, a lot of our arguments stop because one of us are like, anyways, what else are we going to talk about?
We're going to keep doing this for like 3 hours. Let's not.
That's literally what it is. I literally look at the time and I'm like, all right, we've been talking about this argument for an hour, so I need to like switch up. But thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time when we dive into Haymitch's book.
This is Booked and Buzzin'. Bye.
Bye.